Have you ever witnessed the unbelievable scale of human ingenuity, where the limits of imagination are being redefined and where groundbreaking feats of engineering come to life? Today, we will journey past the most impossible megaprojects, from the deepest subterranean foundations to staggering heights above the Earth's surface. This documentary will showcase the monumental megastructures that are reshaping our world today. Let's travel to Turkey for the first project, where the Marmara Rail Tunnel was launched back in 2013, linking the European and Asian parts of Istanbul. Spanning approximately 76.3 kilometers in total length, with 13.6 kilometers running under the sea, the Marmara project was developed with a budget of $4 billion. The construction of the Marmara Tunnel involved the deployment of some of the most advanced technologies and machinery in the field of civil engineering. A pivotal element of this project was the use of immersed tube tunnel technology, which involves the fabrication of tunnel sections on land, subsequently towed to the site, and meticulously lowered onto a prepared trench on the seabed. However, one of the most significant hurdles was the archaeological discoveries made during the excavation phases. Istanbul's rich history was laid bare as the project unearthed a treasure trove of historical artifacts, including Byzantine ships, which required meticulous archaeological examination. It's time to visit Norway, which has constructed a crucial underwater project called the Ormen Lange gas pipeline. Spanning an impressive 1,200 kilometers, it connects the Ormen Lange field in the Norwegian Sea to the United Kingdom, specifically to the processing plant at Nyhamna, Norway. Commissioned in 2007, this pipeline plays a crucial role in securing energy supplies in the region, marking a significant achievement in the field of energy infrastructure. Constructed at a cost of over $10 billion, the Ormen Lange gas pipeline's engineering required innovative solutions to navigate the challenging deep water conditions of the Norwegian Sea, including depths of up to 1,100 meters. This project also stood out for its environmental and technical challenges, particularly the need to minimize impacts on the delicate marine ecosystem and address the harsh conditions found in the North Sea. The United States also has constructed some really impressive underwater megaprojects, such as the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, stretching over the waters of the Chesapeake Bay to connect Virginia's eastern shore with the mainland. Opened in 1964 and expanded over the years, this 23-mile marvel is not just a bridge but a series of bridges, tunnels, and artificial islands. Constructed at a cost of approximately $200 million at its inception, with subsequent expansions adding to the investment, the Bay Tunnel stands as a testament to human ingenuity in overcoming geographical challenges. The structure includes two 1-mile tunnels that dive beneath the bay, allowing ships to pass unimpeded above, while miles of low-lying trestle bridges provide breathtaking views of the surrounding waters. The use of the bridge-tunnel combination was a pioneering approach, providing a direct, uninterrupted flow of traffic across the bay and demonstrating a harmonious blend of functionality. But Japan is arguably even better at constructing underwater tunnels, because they constructed the much longer Seikan Tunnel, stretching 54 kilometers, with a staggering 23 kilometers lying under the seabed. It connects the islands of Honshu and Hokkaido, piercing through the Tsugaru Strait. Completed in 1988 after nearly 2 decades of construction, the tunnel resolves the overcoming of geographical isolation and enhances connectivity. With an overall cost of approximately $3.6 billion, the Seikan Tunnel's construction presented formidable hurdles, including dealing with the seismic volatility of the region. The tunnel now serves as a critical link for passengers and freight trains, being one of the few ways to access the island. Our next underwater project is the only underwater research laboratory in the world, and it's called the Aquarius Reef Base, located in the United States. Anchored 62 feet or 19 meters below the surface near Key Largo, this remarkable facility offers scientists a unique, aquatic vantage point for studying marine biology, underwater physiology, and the impacts of climate change on coral reefs. Established in 1986, Aquarius has facilitated groundbreaking research by allowing researchers to live and work in the ocean's depths for extended periods. The 400-square-foot habitat is equipped with living quarters, laboratories, and communication systems, enabling teams to dive deeper into their research without the daily decompression requirements that limit bottom time for surface divers. Being the only underwater lab in operation, the Aquarius Reef Base exemplifies human ingenuity in pursuit of scientific knowledge, turning the ocean's alien environment into a classroom. The next project on our list is a tunnel that's connecting two major countries, the Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link. This ambitious project, with an estimated cost of 7.4 billion euros, is not just another infrastructure endeavor. It's a bold leap towards uniting regions and enhancing mobility in Europe by connecting Germany and Denmark. Spanning approximately 18 kilometers, it's poised to become the world's longest immersed tunnel, designed for both rail and road traffic. The construction employs the use of specially designed ships to lay sections of the tunnel on the seabed, a method that underscores the innovative spirit of this undertaking. The tunnel comprises 79 individual segments, each meticulously fabricated off-site, showcasing the meticulous planning and precision that underpin this colossal project. The planned completion date for this project is unknown, but they're aiming to open it somewhere in 2029. While underwater tunnels are usually used for mobility, Canada is utilizing them for something else with their Seymour Capilano water filtration project. Nestled in the verdant landscapes of British Columbia, Canada, the tunnel is an engineering marvel designed to ensure the provision of clean, safe drinking water to the Vancouver metropolitan area. This project is distinguished by its expansive network of tunnels, stretching over 7.1 kilometers, which serve as conduits for transferring water between the Seymour Reservoir and the Capilano Reservoir. Constructed at a cost of over 600 million Canadian dollars, the project underscores the critical importance of sustainable water management in urban planning. The construction process showcased a blend of traditional tunneling methods and modern technological innovations. Two massive tunnel boring machines were deployed, each weighing over 1,000 tons, carving through the mountainous terrain with precision. The project became operational in May 2010, and ever since it has been a vital part of the region. It's time to move on to one of the biggest pipeline megaprojects in the world, called the Nord Stream gas pipeline. Stretching beneath the Baltic Sea to connect Russia with Germany, this strategic pipeline operation since November 2011 spans approximately 1224 kilometers, making it one of the longest offshore gas pipelines in the world. With a total project cost estimated at 8.8 billion euros, the Nord Stream has capacity to transport up to 55 billion cubic meters of gas annually, playing a crucial role in ensuring energy security and diversification of supply routes in Europe. Constructed using state-of-the-art technology, the pipeline comprises two parallel lines, each made from tens of thousands of steel pipes, welded together onboard specialized vessels. These pipes, coated for corrosion resistance, were laid on the seabed by some of the world's most advanced laying ships, navigating through challenging marine conditions. Despite its technical achievements, Nord Stream has been mired in controversy. Critics argue that it increases European dependency on Russian gas, posing geopolitical risks. Environmental groups have also raised concerns about the potential impacts on the Baltic Sea's delicate ecosystem. Yet, proponents highlight its contribution to energy security and lower carbon emissions compared to coal and oil. A country that can obviously not be missing from this list is China, who has their own fair share of underwater megaprojects. Let's dive into the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge Tunnel. Overcoming the physical and economic divide between Hong Kong and Zhuhai, this project was completed in October 2018. Consisting of a series of bridges and tunnels spanning approximately 55 kilometers, making it one of the longest sea-crossing structures in the world. With a budget exceeding $18.8 billion, the project is designed to facilitate the flow of people and goods, strengthening connectivity and economic integration within the Pearl River Delta region. At the heart of this colossal structure is a 6.7-kilometer underwater tunnel, descending up to 40 meters below the sea level, seamlessly connecting two artificial islands. This tunnel was a critical solution to avoid disrupting the busy maritime lanes in the Pearl River estuary. The construction of the tunnels required innovative engineering techniques, including the use of immersed tube tunnel methods for the underwater sections. While the next underwater project may not be as big, the Poseidon Underwater Hotel is just as remarkable. This groundbreaking project, aiming to be nestled in the clear turquoise waters of Fiji, extends the frontier of hospitality into the aquatic realm. The hotel is designed to feature 25 suites, each encased in a 70mm thick transparent acrylic shell, providing 360-degree views of the vibrant marine ecosystem. With an estimated construction cost of $105 million, the hotel's ambition is not just to provide luxury but to pioneer an eco-friendly engineering. The structure is planned to be anchored at a depth of 40 meters below the sea level, covering an area of approximately 5,000 square meters. It's time to visit the United Kingdom, where a tunnel is being constructed for an ambitious purpose. The Thames Tideway Tunnel aims to tackle London's over a century-old sewage system problem. Officially initiated in 2016, with an estimated completion by 2025. This massive undertaking is designed to prevent millions of tons of untreated sewage from entering the Thames River each year. Stretching over 25 kilometers and delving up to 65 meters below the river, the tunnel is a critical component of modernizing London's sewage disposal and treatment capabilities. Costing approximately £4.9 billion, the project is not just an engineering marvel but also a significant environmental initiative. By intercepting overflow from existing Victorian sewers, the tunnel will ensure that the Thames remains cleaner and more vibrant for future generations. Despite its environmental benefits, the Thames Tideway Tunnel has faced controversy, particularly regarding its financial impact on residents through increased water bills. Crossing the North Sea, it's time to visit Norway for a massive underwater megaproject. Norway's Coastal Highway project is an unparalleled infrastructure endeavor aimed at revolutionizing travel along the country's rugged western coast. With an estimated cost of $40 billion, this ambitious project seeks to eliminate the need for 7 ferry crossings by connecting the cities of Kristiansand in the south to Trondheim in the north through a continuous, ferry-free highway. Spanning over 1,100 kilometers, it involves the construction of bridges, tunnels, and causeways designed to navigate the challenging Norwegian underwater terrain and weather conditions. A highlight of the project is the proposed construction of the world's longest and deepest submerged floating tunnel, a feat of engineering that exemplifies Norway's innovative approach to overcoming geographical obstacles. This tunnel alone, part of the route across the Sognefjord, is expected to stretch 3.7 kilometers in length and reach depths of up to 392 meters below sea level. Scheduled for completion in 2050, the Coastal Highway project not only aims to significantly reduce travel time across the western coast, but also to boost economic growth and connectivity in remote regions. Let's transition to another underwater project that is connecting cities, called the Busan Geoje Fixed Link. Spanning an impressive length of 8.2 kilometers, this fixed link connects the bustling city of Busan with the scenic island of Geoje in South Korea, serving as a vital artery that significantly reduces travel time. Constructed at a cost of approximately $800 million, the project was completed in 2010 after 5 years of relentless work. The fixed link is a hybrid structure comprising both bridges and underwater tunnels, ingeniously designed to navigate the challenges posed by the area's deep waters. The centerpiece of this engineering feat is a 3.7-kilometer immersed tunnel, one of the longest of its kind in the world, which plunges beneath the sea to allow ships to pass unimpeded above. Despite its successes, the project was not without its challenges. Environmental concerns were raised regarding the impact on the marine ecosystem, leading to stringent measures being implemented to mitigate damage. Financial obstacles also loomed large, with debates on the project's cost-effectiveness and the burden on public resources sparking rigorous discussions. Now it's time for a different type of underwater project, and for that we have to travel to the United States, where the Lake Mead Intake No. 3 tackles the critical issue of water scarcity. This monumental project, costing an impressive $817 million, was driven by the urgent need to secure a reliable water supply for Las Vegas, a city that depends heavily on the waters of Lake Mead. Initiated in 2008 and completed in 2015, The project involved drilling a 3-mile-long tunnel beneath Lake Mead, one of the largest man-made lakes in the United States. This was no ordinary task. It required the use of a 1,500-ton tunnel boring machine, cutting through the earth at depths reaching 600 feet below the lake's surface. The purpose: to construct a new intake capable of drawing water from the lake's depths, ensuring access to clean water even as lake levels fluctuated perilously low due to prolonged drought conditions. The construction of intake number 3 was not just about securing a water source, it was about innovating for the future. Engineers and workers faced the daunting challenge of working in an environment where temperatures soared, and the risk of flooding within the tunnel was a constant threat. Let's travel to the Netherlands next for one of the most impressive underwater projects on the list so far. The Western Scheldt Tunnel, completed in 2003 at a cost of approximately €750 million, is not just a passage but a lifeline connecting the regions of Zeeuws-Vlaanderen and South Beveland, and significantly reducing travel time in the area. Spanning an impressive 6.6 kilometers, the Western Scheldt Tunnel holds the title of the longest tunnel in the Netherlands. Constructed using the immersed tube method, it consists of segments that were meticulously built on land and then submerged and connected beneath the Scheldt River. This construction approach required precision and innovation, including the use of GPS technology to ensure exact alignment of the tunnel sections. But how about a tunnel that has been connecting two countries for over 2 decades? Let's check out the Øresund Tunnel, which is part of the Øresund link that connects Denmark and Sweden, facilitating unprecedented connectivity between the two countries since its completion in 2000. This project, with a total cost of around €4 billion for the entire Øresund link, includes a bridge, an artificial island, and the tunnel itself, showcasing a blend of engineering ingenuity and cooperation across borders. Stretching 4 kilometers beneath the Øresund Strait, the tunnel complements the 8-kilometer bridge to form a comprehensive transport route. The construction of the tunnel employed the cut-and-cover method, where a trench was excavated on the seabed and prefabricated tunnel sections were then lowered into place. The Øresund Tunnel has significantly reduced travel time between Denmark and Sweden, bolstering economic ties and cultural exchange. While that tunnel might be long, it's time to visit a tunnel that's over 10 times as long. The Channel Tunnel, an engineering feat that bridged the UK and France beneath the English Channel, stands as a symbol of European unity and technological ambition. Completed in 1994 at a cost of £12 billion, this project was one of the most significant engineering projects of the 20th century. Spanning 50.45 kilometers, with 37.9 kilometers beneath the sea, the Channel Tunnel holds the record for the longest undersea portion of any tunnel in the world. The construction involved the use of 11 tunnel boring machines to carve through the chalk marl beneath the seabed. This Herculean task required unprecedented coordination between British and French construction teams. The tunnel comprises 3 separate tubes, 2 for rail traffic, and a smaller service tunnel that acts as an emergency escape route. The use of precast concrete linings to reinforce the tunnel walls was a critical component of the construction strategy, ensuring the tunnel's durability and safety. Today, the Channel Tunnel is a vital link for commerce and travel between the UK and continental Europe, facilitating the seamless transit of millions of passengers and tons of freight annually. But the underwater megaprojects can get much longer than that. The Baltic Pipe project was completed in 2022 at a cost of approximately €1.6 billion, and it stretches over 900 kilometers, forging a direct link between Norway's gas fields and Poland, with passages through Denmark. Its primary aim is to diversify energy sources and reduce Central and Eastern European countries' dependence on Russian gas, showcasing a pivotal shift towards sustainable and secure energy supplies. The construction of the Baltic Pipe involved laying underwater pipelines across the North Sea, a challenging endeavor that required advanced engineering techniques. Specialized ships were deployed to lay the pipes on the seabed, ensuring minimal disruption to commercial navigation routes. This project is notable not just for its engineering achievements, but also for its role in enhancing political cooperation among European nations. By providing a stable, reliable source of natural gas, the Baltic Pipe supports Europe's goals of energy independence and sustainability, relying less on Russia's Nord Stream pipe. Now let's move to an underwater project that does not yet exist, and that would break many records if it was being constructed. The transatlantic tunnel connecting New York to London is a testament to human ambition and engineering prowess. While not yet a reality, the concept alone pushes the boundaries of our current engineering capabilities and sparks discussions on the potential advancements required to make it possible. The envisioned transatlantic tunnel, stretching over 35 miles across the Atlantic Ocean's floor, showcases a blend of audacious goals and cutting-edge technology. Such a project would not only redefine international travel, cutting down flight times from 7 hours to just under an hour by train, but also represent a monumental leap in construction methodologies. Building this underwater passage would necessitate revolutionary materials and construction techniques capable of withstanding the immense pressures of the deep sea and the tectonic activities beneath the ocean floor. The cost, running into the trillions of dollars, and the construction timeline, spanning decades, reflect the project's unprecedented scale and complexity. The tunnel's conception involves massive, underwater tunnel boring machines and innovative materials for the tunnel structure, designed to endure the harsh conditions. But the next underwater project is going to be a lot more feasible. The Gibraltar Strait Tunnel seeks to connect Europe and Africa, specifically Spain to Morocco, through a 14-kilometer underwater rail tunnel. This endeavor not only aims to bridge two continents, but also to significantly enhance economic and cultural exchanges between them. The project, with an estimated cost that could exceed $20 billion, is a testament to the potential of modern engineering to overcome geographical barriers. Construction of such a tunnel presents formidable challenges, from the deep waters of the Strait of Gibraltar, with depths up to 900 meters, to the seismic activity in the region. The proposed tunnel would be among the world's longest underwater tunnels, dwarfing existing ones in both ambition and technical complexity. Engineers are considering innovative boring techniques and special materials to ensure the tunnel's integrity and safety, taking lessons from other underwater projects like the Channel Tunnel between France and the United Kingdom. One of China's proudest achievements are their bridge construction projects. Therefore, we're paying a visit to the Kishui River Bridge, officially completed and opened to the public in 2019. This architectural marvel spans the Kishui River in Guizhou province, seamlessly connecting the cities of Zhishui and Guilin. The bridge is part of a broader initiative to improve transportation links in the mountainous regions of southwest China, significantly reducing travel time between these cities from over an hour to just a few minutes. The Kishui River Bridge is noteworthy for its status as one of the highest bridges in the world. It rises approximately 304 meters above the river, with a total length of 1,280 meters, making it a significant achievement in China's bridge construction. The bridge's design follows a rigid frame type, with a span configuration that includes a large central span flanked by smaller approach spans, a design choice that optimizes both the structural integrity and the aesthetic appeal of the bridge. Construction of the Kishui River Bridge was a monumental task that required precise planning and execution. The project's total cost amounted to $236 million, a reflection of the extensive resources, labor, and materials invested into its realization. The construction phase involved the use of cutting-edge machinery and technologies, including high-strength concrete and steel, to ensure the bridge's ability to withstand the environmental challenges presented by its location. One of the most challenging aspects of the bridge's construction was the terrain of the Kishui River Valley itself. The steep and uneven landscape necessitated innovative construction methods, including the use of advanced cable crane systems to transport materials across the valley. The Kishui River Bridge not only serves as a vital transportation link, but also as a testament to the advancements in modern Chinese engineering and construction techniques. Besides bridges, China also invests a lot of capital into water management. To really put this into perspective, let's take a look at the South-North Water Transfer Project. Launched in response to the acute water shortages faced by the northern provinces, including the densely populated and economically pivotal Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region. This mega project aims to divert water from the Yangtze River in the south to the parched north through a series of canals, tunnels, and advanced pumping stations, spanning over decades. With its inception dating back to planning stages in the late 20th century, the project is segmented into three distinct routes: the Eastern Route, the Central Route, and the yet-to-be-completed Western Route. Together, they have already transferred billions of cubic meters of water to the northern regions, substantially alleviating water stress in urban and agricultural areas. The financial scale of the South-North Water Transfer Project is staggering, with estimates of the total investment surpassing $80 billion. This figure underscores the complexity and the extensive scope of the project, which involves not only the construction of the physical infrastructure to facilitate the water transfer, but also significant environmental management measures to mitigate the impact on the ecosystems of both the source and recipient areas. The project features state-of-the-art tunneling techniques for crossing under major rivers and traversing diverse terrains, including mountains and urban areas. For example, the project utilizes some of the longest water conveyance tunnels in the world, with advanced boring machines to ensure minimal disruption to the surface. Additionally, it incorporates large-scale pumping stations, equipped with high-capacity pumps to lift water across significant elevations along the routes. Furthermore, the project's design incorporates extensive measures for water purification and quality control, ensuring that the transferred water meets the stringent standards required for drinking and irrigation. However, the South-North Water Transfer Project is not without its challenges. The construction of the project's routes and reservoirs has necessitated the relocation of hundreds of thousands of people from their ancestral homes to make way for the infrastructure. This mass relocation has raised issues related to the resettlement process, including adequate compensation, preservation of cultural heritage, and the provision of new livelihood opportunities for those affected. Let's move to the next impressive Chinese megaproject, called the Chongqing-Kunming High-Speed Railway. This pivotal project, stretching over 720 kilometers or 447 miles, connects two major cities in southwest China, Chongqing and Kunming. The railway, part of China's grand plan to create a 30,000-kilometer high-speed rail network, underscores the nation's ambition to lead globally in rail technology. Costing approximately 100 billion yuan or $15 billion, the Chongqing-Kunming High-Speed Railway is not just an economic investment, but a technological showcase. The project features numerous tunnels and bridges, including the world-renowned Wulong Mountain Superbridge. The railway reduces the travel time between Chongqing and Kunming from over 20 hours to just 4.5 hours, significantly impacting the social and economic landscape of the region. It enhances accessibility, promotes tourism, and fosters economic integration between the southwestern provinces. The construction of this railway employed cutting-edge machinery and materials, with a focus on durability and safety. High-strength steel, advanced concrete composites, and state-of-the-art track-laying techniques were utilized, ensuring that the railway could withstand the region's seismic activity. The use of tunnel boring machines and bridge-building gantries played a pivotal role in accelerating the construction pace, demonstrating China's prowess in leveraging technology for infrastructure development. One of the key challenges encountered during the construction was the environmental impact, particularly in ecologically sensitive areas. The project team implemented several mitigation strategies, such as rerouting sections of the track, constructing wildlife crossings over and under the railway, and implementing strict construction practices to minimize the disturbance to the natural landscape. But the project has not been without its controversies, including concerns over land acquisition and environmental degradation. The government and project developers have faced criticism over the lack of transparency and adequate compensation for those affected. Despite these challenges, the Chongqing-Kunming High-Speed Railway remains a symbol of progress and a critical component of China's vision for a modern country. It's time to travel to Pudong International Airport, which serves as a crucial hub in East Asia. Officially opened on October 1, 1999, this airport not only serves as a vital artery for international travel, but also stands as a symbol of modern engineering. With its strategic location in Pudong, Shanghai, it's designed to manage the demands of heavy passenger and cargo traffic, contributing significantly to the region's economic development. The airport's construction was a monumental project with an initial investment of approximately $1.67 billion for its first phase. This phase included the main terminal, a runway, and supporting transportation infrastructure, setting the stage for what would become one of the busiest airports in the world. The airport has since undergone several expansions, including the addition of Terminal 2 in 2008 and Terminal S1 for Spring Airlines in 2019, pushing its capacity and facilities to meet the growing demands of international travel. Covering an area of over 25 square miles, the airport features 5 total runways, with the latest opening in 2020, where it only had 2 runways before. This expansion was critical to accommodate the airport's increasing traffic, which saw over 76 million passengers in 2019, making it one of the top 10 busiest airports globally by passenger traffic. The terminal buildings are notable for their modern design, incorporating energy-efficient materials and systems. However, the airport's expansion has not been without challenges. The construction phases witnessed logistical challenges, including the coordination of a vast workforce and the seamless integration of new terminals and runways into the existing infrastructure without disrupting airport operations. These problems highlighted the complexities of executing large-scale infrastructure projects in a bustling urban setting. Pudong International Airport serves as a case study in modern airport construction, reflecting the challenges and achievements of building world-class infrastructure in the 21st century. The next Chinese megaproject is truly stunning, being among the highest bridges in China. I'm talking about the Pingtang Bridge, positioned in the rugged terrain of Guizhou Province. Completed in December 2019, this bridge is pivotal for local development, reducing travel times and linking communities previously separated by challenging terrain. The bridge's design incorporates a hybrid approach, melding elements of both cable-stayed and suspension bridge technologies. This innovative strategy was chosen to address the unique challenges posed by the site, including high winds and the need for a long span without intermediate supports. The design features 3 main pylons, with the tallest standing at an impressive height of 332 meters. These pylons support the bridge deck with a series of stay cables, which are crucial for maintaining the structure's stability and distributing loads evenly. With a main span of 1092 meters and a total length of 2135 meters, the Pingtang Bridge is among the world's longest span bridges. It hangs approximately 332 meters above a river, making it one of the highest bridges globally. This engineering feat required a budget of approximately 1.5 billion yuan, or $215 million, reflecting the complexity and scale of the construction effort. Construction of the Pingtang Bridge was a logistical and engineering challenge. The remote location and difficult terrain necessitated innovative solutions for transportation and assembly of large structural components. The Chinese project team placed a strong emphasis on environmental conservation, implementing measures to minimize the bridge's impact on the surrounding ecosystem. Strategies included careful routing of the bridge to avoid ecologically sensitive areas, and efforts to preserve the natural landscape. China is also exceptional at building high into the sky, and that's why we're taking a look at the Shanghai Tower. Rising majestically above the Lujiazui skyline, the Shanghai Tower was conceived with the dual purpose of symbolizing Shanghai's global financial prominence and pioneering sustainable urban living concepts. With its completion in 2015, the tower not only achieved its aim of being a financial center, but also became a model for future eco-friendly skyscrapers. The project, which began construction in November 2008, faced a lengthy development phase before reaching its completion 7 years later, reflecting the complex nature of constructing one of the world's tallest buildings. Costing approximately $2.4 billion, the Shanghai Tower stands as a financial behemoth, indicative of the massive investment in creating a landmark that merges architectural innovation with environmental stewardship. Spanning an area of 380,000 square meters, this 632-meter-tall skyscraper is not only a marvel of height but also of space and design. Featuring the world's second fastest elevators, which ascend at a speed of 18 meters per second. The construction of the Shanghai Tower introduced several innovative techniques and materials to address the unique challenges posed by its design. One of the most notable is its double-skin facade, designed to insulate the building and reduce the need for heating, thereby significantly cutting energy costs. This outer layer wraps around the building, creating a buffer zone that acts as thermal insulation, a feature that is critical in Shanghai's variable climate. The Shanghai Tower employs a unique twisting form, designed to reduce wind loads on the building by 24%. However, like many other megaprojects, the Shanghai Tower faced unique challenges during construction. Building such a massive structure in the densely populated area of Lujiazui posed potential problems, including traffic congestion and strain on local resources. Moreover, the financial viability of the project was questioned, with skeptics pointing to the high vacancy rates of office spaces in Shanghai and wondering whether the tower would become a vertical ghost town. As of 2019, 55 out of 128 floors sit empty, which is close to 50%. China is not only industry-leading in constructing bridges and railways, but also creates stunning new cities. Let's dive into Tianjin Eco-City, which is designed to house approximately 350,000 residents in an area covering about 19 square miles. The project emerged from mutual concerns over rapid urbanization, environmental degradation, leading to its initiation in 2008. The financial blueprint of the Tianjin Eco-City is as ambitious as its environmental targets, with investment figures projected to be near $10 billion, aiming to cover infrastructure, residential, and commercial development costs. This funding is directed towards not just constructing buildings, but also towards creating an integrated environment that supports sustainable living practices across energy use, water management, and waste disposal. One of the critical aspects of the Tianjin Eco-City is its emphasis on green building materials and advanced construction technologies. The city employs a variety of eco-friendly materials, including recycled concrete and sustainable timber. Innovative construction methods are utilized to ensure energy efficiency and resource conservation. These include the use of prefabricated parts to reduce construction waste and the implementation of smart technologies for water and energy management, showcasing a comprehensive approach to sustainable urban development. Despite its noble aspirations, skepticism arose over the feasibility of transforming a polluted, saline wasteland into a thriving eco-city. Concerns were also raised regarding the project's scalability and whether it could truly be replicated in other contexts, considering the significant initial investment and the need for technological innovation. The project encountered practical hurdles in attracting residents and businesses, crucial for the city's sustainability. The eco-city's location, distant from Tianjin's urban core, and the premium cost of living posed barriers to rapid population growth. This challenge highlighted the difficulty of balancing environmental goals with economic and social viability, a crucial lesson for future eco-city projects. Despite these obstacles, the Tianjin Eco-City continues to evolve, with ongoing construction and development reflecting both the challenges and potential of sustainable urban living. Let's go to the Louisiana Offshore Oil Port, which stands as the only port in the United States capable of offloading deep draft tankers. Situated approximately 18 miles off the coast of Louisiana, the port plays a pivotal role in the import and export of crude oil, handling about 10 to 15% of the country's domestic oil. Built in 1970, the construction of this engineering feat was both a logistical and financial endeavor, costing over $300 million at the time, an amount equivalent to over $1.4 billion today when adjusted for inflation. Did you know that one of the most significant challenges during the port's construction was the laying of its underwater pipeline? This pipeline stretches over 48 miles to the onshore storage facilities and was one of the longest and most expensive underwater pipeline projects at the time. But that was only the cheapest megaproject on our list. Let's move on to an even more expensive megaproject in one of the biggest cities in the country, the Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium. Home to the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders and located right next to the famous Strip, this colossal structure was developed with a staggering construction cost of approximately $1.9 billion. But what makes this stadium worth that high price tag? Beyond its 65,000 seat capacity, the stadium features a retractable field and a massive translucent roof, offering fans a comfortable and visually stunning environment regardless of the desert heat. The Allegiant Stadium's construction also included a substantial investment in technology, with over 100 luxury suites and more than 8,000 club seats. The next project on our list is the most expensive dam located in the United States. The Hoover Dam represents one of the most significant engineering achievements of the 20th century. With a total construction cost of over $2.7 billion, the dam's financial figures are as staggering as its physical dimensions. To construct the Hoover Dam, an estimated 5 million barrels of cement and 45 million pounds of reinforced steel were required. This was at a time when the procurement and transportation of such massive quantities of materials were incredibly challenging, contributing significantly to the overall cost. Moreover, the dam's construction provided employment for thousands of workers, offering a much-needed economic boost during a time of widespread unemployment. Did you know that the Hoover Dam also required the construction of Boulder City, a town built specifically to house the project's workers and their families? This added another layer of expense but was essential for providing a stable and healthy living environment for the workforce. But an even more expensive megaproject is the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, an engineering marvel that connects the boroughs of Staten Island and Brooklyn and New York City. At the time of its completion in 1964, this bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world. This colossal structure not only redefined the New York skyline, but also represented a significant financial undertaking, with a construction cost of approximately $3 billion. The bridge's construction necessitated not only a substantial upfront investment, but also a long-term financial strategy to ensure its sustainability. The bridge required thousands of workers and vast amounts of materials, including steel for the 260 feet long main span, which contributes significantly to the overall expense. But that's not even close to the most expensive project located in New York. Let's talk about the new Yankee Stadium, which opened its doors in 2009 in the Bronx. This modern cathedral of baseball came with a hefty price tag of approximately $3.3 billion, making it one of the most expensive sports venues ever built at the time. The stadium's design paid homage to the original 1923 Yankee Stadium, with its iconic facade and the replication of the original field dimensions. However, it introduced modern amenities and technology to enhance the fan experience. These included more than 50 luxury suites, high-definition video screens, and improved seating with greater legroom and sightlines. Did you know that the construction of the new Yankee Stadium required the demolition and redevelopment of Macomb's Dam Park? This aspect of the project added to its complexity and cost, as new recreational facilities had to be built to replace the parkland used for the stadium. The project's engineering efforts also addressed the challenge of building atop the New York City subway's elevated 4-train line, requiring careful planning to avoid disruptions. Let's travel to the state of Virginia for a bridge project that moves the price bar even higher. The Woodrow Wilson Bridge project connecting Alexandria, Virginia, with Oxon Hill, Maryland, over the Potomac River was reimagined to address the burgeoning traffic demands of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. The project's total cost, exceeding $3.4 billion, highlights its scope and the complexity of its execution. The decision to make the project a drawbridge, the world's second largest of its kind, was driven by the necessity to accommodate large ship traffic along the Potomac River. Moreover, the project expanded the bridge from 6 to 12 lanes, incorporating express and local lanes to significantly alleviate congestion. The addition of pedestrian and bicycle paths also reflected a forward-thinking approach to multimodal transportation. But we haven't even started talking about the colossal airport project the United States has worked on. Let's fly over to Denver International Airport, which was completed in 1995 and was initially budgeted at $1.7 billion, but eventually soared to nearly $5 billion, reflecting the project's scale and the complexities encountered during its development. One of the most iconic features of the airport is its striking tent-like roof structure, designed to mimic the snow-capped Rocky Mountains and pay homage to Native American teepees. The construction of Denver International was fraught with challenges, leading to delays and cost overruns. One significant factor was the airport's advanced baggage handling system, which was one of the most sophisticated and automated systems designed at the time. However, its implementation proved problematic, causing operational issues that contributed to the airport's opening being delayed by 16 months. Did you know that the airport's runway system was designed to be the most efficient and flexible of any airport globally? Its layout allows for simultaneous takeoffs and landings in almost any weather condition, reducing delays and improving safety. Next up, it's time to visit one of the most expensive hotels in the United States. The Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas presents a fascinating study in both engineering achievement and financial investment. Opened in December 2010, this resort and casino complex was developed at a staggering cost of approximately $5.3 billion, making it one of the most expensive hotel projects in the world. A unique aspect of the Cosmopolitan's construction is its vertical design, a necessity dictated by the limited space available on the Las Vegas Strip. Standing at nearly 600 feet tall, these towers house over 3,000 hotel rooms, alongside a vast array of amenities including a casino, retail spaces, restaurants, and entertainment venues. Did you know that the project faced financial challenges during its construction, largely due to the economic downturn in 2008? This led to changes in ownership and a significant injection of additional funds to complete the project. Moreover, the Cosmopolitan is renowned for its emphasis on art and aesthetic appeal, featuring a multi-million-dollar art collection and striking design elements like the digital columns in its lobby. But the most expensive stadium in the United States truly has a staggering construction cost. SoFi Stadium, nestled in the heart of Inglewood, California, represents a pinnacle of architectural grandeur in the realm of sports and entertainment venues. Completed in September 2020, it not only serves as the home for the NFL's Los Angeles Rams and Chargers, but also as a monumental achievement in stadium construction, boasting a final cost of approximately $5.5 billion. One of the hallmarks of its design is the immense canopy that covers the stadium and the adjacent plaza. Another standout aspect of the stadium's construction is its below-ground design. To comply with height restrictions near Los Angeles International Airport, the stadium was built into the ground, with its playing field situated 100 feet below ground level. This required extensive excavation work and sophisticated engineering to ensure stability, contributing significantly to the project's overall costs. Did you know that SoFi Stadium's video board, known as the Oculus, is another example of its unparalleled amenities? This double-sided 4K video board weighs approximately 2.2 million pounds and encircles the interior of the stadium, offering fans a 360-degree viewing experience that is as immersive as it is revolutionary. Moving over to Seattle, it's time to talk about one of the priciest bridges in the country. The Evergreen Point Floating Bridge, also known as the SR 520 Bridge, stretches across Lake Washington to connect Seattle with its eastern suburbs. The bridge holds the title of the world's longest floating bridge, with a construction cost that soared to over $5.8 billion for the entire corridor project, highlighting the massive investment required. The bridge utilizes floating pontoons to support the roadway, a necessity due to the lake's depth and soft lakebed, which make traditional bridge foundations impractical. These pontoons are among the largest ever built, requiring precise engineering to ensure buoyancy and stability. Its construction involved not only the bridge but also the approach lanes and connecting roads, incorporating extensive environmental mitigation measures to protect the lake's ecosystem. Moreover, the bridge features state-of-the-art safety and traffic management systems, including wind speed sensors and a movable barrier system to optimize traffic flow. But a truly stunning achievement is constructing the most expensive building in the United States. That's what Apple achieved with its Apple Park project, their futuristic headquarters located in Cupertino, California. Completed in 2017, this remarkable campus was constructed at an estimated cost of approximately $6 billion. Designed by the renowned architect Norman Foster, Apple Park is often referred to as the spaceship due to its circular, futuristic design. Spanning 175 acres, the main building covers 2.8 million square feet and accommodates over 12,000 employees. The construction of such a massive structure required one of the largest uses of curved glass for the building's exterior to achieve the seamless, minimalist aesthetic envisioned by Steve Jobs. A key focus of Apple Park's construction was its environmental impact. The campus operates on 100% renewable energy, featuring solar panels that generate 17 megawatts of power, making it one of the largest solar energy installations in the world on a corporate site. Did you know that the landscaping of Apple Park is as meticulously designed as the building itself? Over 9,000 drought-resistant trees were planted, creating a lush canopy that integrates the campus seamlessly into the surrounding environment. While Denver International Airport was already an expensive airport project, New York's LaGuardia redevelopment project has stepped it up even further, showcasing a radical transformation at a cost of over $8 billion. This monumental project not only aims to modernize the airport, but also to redefine the passenger experience with cutting-edge design and technology. At the heart of this project is the construction of new terminals, featuring over 1 million square feet of space designed to handle tens of millions of passengers annually. The redevelopment introduces a strikingly innovative dual pedestrian bridge design for Terminal B, allowing planes to taxi underneath. This is a pioneering concept designed to improve taxiway efficiency and reduce gate congestion, a crucial advancement given LaGuardia's limited footprint. Funding this colossal project involves a sophisticated financial structure, including $4 billion for Terminal B alone. Engineering feats within the project include the strategic demolition and phased construction to keep the airport fully operational. Moreover, the incorporation of more than 13,000 square feet of new pedestrian bridges enhances connectivity and streamlines passenger flow, showcasing an impressive blend of functionality and aesthetic appeal. It's time to travel over to the West Coast for an even more expensive project on our list. The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge Eastern Span replacement was completed in 2013. This project was initiated in response to the vulnerability exposed by the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Its construction showcases a blend of architectural innovation and safety enhancements, with the final cost ballooning to approximately $8.6 billion, far exceeding initial estimates. One of the most striking features of the new Eastern Span is its self-anchored suspension design, a first of its kind for a single tower. This engineering marvel spans 247 feet and includes a main cable that loops around the roadway deck, anchoring it securely to itself rather than to the ground. Did you know that over 160,000 miles of wire were used to create the main cable of the bridge? Additionally, the bridge features a 525 feet tall tower, constructed with 4 steel legs linked by shear link beams designed to flex and dissipate seismic energy. It's time to fly back to New York for the most expensive subway megaproject in the country. The East Side Access Project exemplifies the challenges and triumphs of urban tunneling and railway construction. With an estimated cost of over $11 billion, it ranks as one of the most expensive railway projects in the world. This ambitious project aims to connect the Long Island Railroad to a new terminal beneath Grand Central Terminal, offering a direct route that was previously unavailable to thousands of commuters. The East Side Access includes approximately 8 miles of tunneling beneath Manhattan's densely packed urban environment. These tunnels were not merely dug but meticulously carved through some of the most challenging geological conditions, including hard rock and water-bearing sediments. Did you know that the project necessitated the excavation of about 2 million cubic yards of rock? This is equivalent to filling the Empire State Building nearly 2 times. The construction also involves the creation of a new terminal beneath Grand Central, consisting of multiple levels of concourses and platforms. This terminal is being constructed more than 140 feet below street level, requiring innovative solutions for ventilation, lighting, and passenger flow. But that was not the most expensive tunneling project on this list just yet. The Central Artery Tunnel Project, famously known as the Big Dig in Boston, Massachusetts, stands as one of the most complex urban infrastructure projects ever undertaken in the United States. Originally estimated at $2.8 billion, the project's cost skyrocketed to over $21.9 billion by its completion. Spanning from 1988 until 2006, the Big Dig aimed to address the chronic traffic congestion on Boston's central artery by relocating it underground and extending the Massachusetts Turnpike through a new tunnel under Boston Harbor. A key feature of the Big Dig was the construction of the Ted Williams Tunnel, the first major component completed in 1995, which extends I-90 to Logan Airport. Did you know that the project utilized over 3.8 million cubic yards of concrete, enough to lay a sidewalk 3 feet wide from Boston to San Francisco? The Leonard P. Zachem Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge is also part of this project, being the world's widest cable-stayed bridge, celebrated for its aesthetic appeal and structural design. But what about the most costly real estate development project in the United States? The Hudson Yards redevelopment project in New York City is a beacon of urban transformation, with an estimated total cost of over $25 billion. This colossal project has reshaped the west side of Manhattan, introducing a blend of high-rise residential buildings, office towers, and restaurants. One of the project's most innovative engineering feats is the platform built over the West Side Yard, a working train yard serving the Long Island Railroad. Constructed at a cost of approximately $1 billion, this platform covers 30 tracks, 3 rail tunnels, and 2 subway lines, all of which remain operational during construction. Another highlight is the vessel, a 16-story, honeycomb-like structure of interconnected staircases. Did you know the project includes a state-of-the-art waste management system designed to eliminate the need for traditional garbage trucks? This system, an investment in sustainability and efficiency, transports waste through a series of underground tubes to a central collection point. The development also prioritizes green spaces, with more than half of Hudson Yards dedicated to public plazas and gardens. But now it's time to talk about the longest and most expensive pipeline megaproject ever constructed in the country. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, stretching approximately 800 miles, represents one of the most significant achievements in pipeline construction. Completed in 1977 at a cost of $40 billion, the project was constructed to transport oil from North America's largest oil field in Prudhoe Bay to the ice-free port of Valdez. One of the most notable is its earthquake-proof design, featuring sliding supports that allow the pipeline to move during seismic activity without rupturing. Approximately half of the pipeline is elevated on more than 78,000 vertical support members to prevent the thawing of permafrost, which could destabilize the structure. This design allows cold air to circulate around the pipes, helping to maintain the permafrost's integrity. Did you know that the pipeline system includes the crossing of over 800 rivers and streams? The project scale necessitated the largest private air force at the time to transport workers and materials, highlighting the logistical challenges overcome during construction. The pipeline can transport up to 2.1 million barrels of oil per day, showcasing its critical role in the U.S. energy infrastructure. And topping it off, we have to talk about the most expensive construction feat in the United States. The California High-Speed Rail project is an epic venture into modernizing transportation with an initial estimate of around $33 billion that has since soared past $100 billion. Designed to connect the state's major urban centers, such as San Francisco and Los Angeles, with speeds capable of reaching 220 miles per hour. The project aims to slash travel times to under 3 hours across approximately 800 miles of track. Projected to be the first of its kind in the country, the high-speed rail's completion date has been a moving target, currently anticipated for 2033. This timeline reflects the project's vast scope and the intricate engineering challenges it faces, including the construction of over 36 miles of tunnels through the Tehachapi and San Gabriel Mountains. An exemplar of sustainable transportation, the rail project is committed to operating on 100% renewable energy, with stringent environmental protections integrated into its development to minimize impacts on natural habitats. Despite facing financial scrutiny and logistical obstacles, such as securing adequate funding and navigating the complexities of state and federal regulations, the California High-Speed Rail continues to push forward. Let's go to India for a revolutionary airport megaproject called Noida International Airport. This ambitious infrastructure project is under construction in Uttar Pradesh, India, and is poised to redefine aviation standards upon its completion. With an estimated project cost of over $3 billion, this monumental airport is anticipated to handle an initial capacity of 12 million passengers annually, with plans to expand to 70 million in the future phases. Scheduled for completion in 2024, the airport is being constructed on a massive site of approximately 5,000 acres, making it one of the largest airports in terms of area in India. The project's innovative design incorporates green building techniques aimed at minimizing environmental impact, striving for a significant reduction in carbon emissions. The Noida International Airport will feature a single runway in its first phase, with plans to extend to 5 runways, rivaling the world's largest airports. Another mega-project that is transforming travel is the Seine-Scheldt project, designed to enhance the navigability and capacity of the waterway network between the Seine River in France and the Scheldt River in Belgium. With an ambitious budget exceeding 4.5 billion euros, this vast project is a testament to European cooperation in improving infrastructure and boosting economic growth. Currently under construction and completed by 2027, the Seine-Scheldt project encompasses the upgrading of approximately 1,100 kilometers of waterways to accommodate larger vessels up to 4,400 tons, aiming to shift the transportation paradigm from road to water, thereby reducing congestion and environmental impact. This includes the construction and enhancement of numerous locks, bridges, and canal sections, with a critical component being the new 107-kilometer canal link designed to bypass existing bottlenecks. But that's not the only impressive travel megaproject France is working on, because they also have the Lyon-Turin high-speed rail. This project is a groundbreaking endeavor set to revolutionize transportation between France and Italy, signifying a major leap in European rail infrastructure. With a budget estimated at over 26 billion euros, the project's centerpiece is the Mont Cenis base tunnel, stretching 57.5 kilometers, poised to become one of the world's longest rail tunnels. This tunnel will significantly reduce the Lyon to Turin travel time, aiming to shift a substantial portion of freight and passenger traffic from road to rail, thereby decreasing carbon emissions and traffic congestion. Scheduled for completion in 2030, the Lyon-Turin high-speed rail will extend approximately 270 kilometers, incorporating state-of-the-art technology and engineering. Upon completion, the rail line is expected to accommodate speeds of up to 220 kilometers per hour, slashing the Lyon-Turin journey to just under 2 hours. Another country that's investing a lot into travel projects is India. They are building the Mumbai Coastal Road project, poised to redefine urban mobility in one of India's most populous cities. This ambitious project, with an estimated budget of over $1.5 billion, represents a significant leap towards alleviating traffic congestion and enhancing connectivity within Mumbai. Currently under construction, the coastal road will stretch 29.2 kilometers along Mumbai's western coastline, linking the Marine Lines area in the south to the Kandivali neighborhood in the north. Designed to include 8 lanes, the project integrates a combination of tunnels, bridges, interchanges, and viaducts. A notable feature of this project is the 3.4-kilometer twin tunnel, expected to be the longest of its kind in India, running beneath Gurgaon Chowpatty in Malabar Hill. This engineering marvel is designed to expedite travel times while preserving the scenic coastline. Projected for completion by 2025, the Mumbai Coastal Road aims to significantly reduce travel time for commuters, cutting the current 3-hour drive down to an estimated 40 minutes. Let's transition from an impressive road project to a colossal aviation hub, located in Poland and called the Solidarity Transport Hub. With a budget estimated at over 8 billion euros, the project symbolizes a significant investment in Poland's future connectivity and economic development. Currently being built, the transport hub encompasses the creation of a new, cutting-edge airport located approximately 40 kilometers from Warsaw, slated to become one of the largest in the region. The project is ambitiously designed to handle up to 45 million passengers annually in its initial phase, with future expansions planned to accommodate over 100 million passengers, setting new benchmarks for capacity and efficiency in airport design. The comprehensive scope of the project also includes the development of a vast network of railways and roads, integrating over 1,600 kilometers of new rail lines that will connect the hub with major Polish cities, significantly improving national and international transport links. Projected for completion in 2027, the Solidarity Transport Hub is poised to transform Poland into a major European transport and logistics hub. Staying in Europe, let's move to Denmark for the new Storstrøm Bridge, set to redefine the landscape of Scandinavian infrastructure. With a budget exceeding 700 million euros, this project represents a monumental investment in the country's transportation network, promising to streamline connectivity across the region. Currently under construction, the bridge spans a length of 4 kilometers, making it one of the longest in Scandinavia. Designed to cater to both rail and road traffic, the bridge features a dual-track railway capable of supporting speeds up to 200 kilometers per hour for trains, alongside a 2-lane road for vehicular traffic, including a pathway for pedestrians and cyclists, ensuring comprehensive accessibility and mobility. Scheduled for completion in 2024, this project is eagerly awaited by both local communities and international observers. Upon its inauguration, the new Storstrøm Bridge will stand as a symbol of Danish innovation and a pivotal link in Scandinavia's transportation network. It's time to go to Austria next for the Brenner-based tunnel. This colossal project, designed to streamline European freight and passenger traffic, is not just a tunnel, but a groundbreaking achievement set to transform transalpine transport. Upon its expected completion in 2032, it will earn the title of the world's longest railway tunnel, stretching an impressive 64 kilometers, or 40 miles beneath the rugged terrain of the Eastern Alps. The vision behind the Brenner-based tunnel is to provide a more efficient and environmentally friendly alternative for crossing one of Europe's most significant natural barriers, significantly reducing the travel time between Innsbruck, Austria, and Fortezza, Italy. The cost of this monumental undertaking is projected to be around 8.4 billion euros, a figure that underscores the scale and ambition of this cross-border initiative. With a construction saga that began in earnest in 2006, the project has required the mobilization of some of the most advanced tunneling technologies and machinery. The tunnel comprises 2 main tubes running parallel and connected by cross passages every 333 meters, ensuring safety and accessibility. While Europe has some impressive travel projects, what about the United States? Let's take a look at the Texas Central Railway, which is an ambitious high-speed rail project poised to revolutionize transportation between Dallas and Houston. With plans to cover the approximately 240 miles between them in just about 90 minutes, this rail line is a beacon of modern transit technology and efficiency. Inspired by the Shinkansen high-speed rail system in Japan, it is estimated to cost around $20 billion, reflecting its scale and the advanced technology it intends to deploy. As of the latest updates, the anticipated completion date for the Texas Central Railway hovers around the late 2022, although specific timelines have been subject to adjustments. This groundbreaking project promises to carry more than 13 million passengers annually upon reaching full operational capacity. Let's now travel to Dubai for an expansion project that will change their international airport forever. The Al Maktoum International Airport, also known as Dubai World Central, is set to undergo an expansion that redefines its status as a global aviation hub. Upon completion, it's poised to become the world's largest airport, with the capacity to handle over 220 million passengers annually. This expansion is a centerpiece of Dubai's ambitious vision to cater to the growing international travel and cargo demand, reflecting the city's strategic role in global commerce and tourism. Projected to cost upwards of $32 billion, the expansion aims to equip Dubai World Central with 5 runways, multiple concourses, and state-of-the-art facilities that stretch over a sprawling 56 square kilometers. This colossal development is designed not only to accommodate the exponential growth of Emirates, the city's flagship carrier, but also to enhance Dubai's connectivity with the global economy. The phased expansion plan was initially set to be completed by the mid-2022s, but updates to the timeline suggest a completion date might extend to better align with future growth projections and travel trends. Let's move over to the United Kingdom, who are working on a project that will change British transportation, called the Lower Thames Crossing. This ambitious endeavor aims to construct a new 14.3-mile road link, including a 2.6-mile tunnel beneath the River Thames. Once completed, it will hold the distinction of being the longest road tunnel in the UK, significantly easing congestion on the existing Dartford crossing and enhancing connectivity between Essex and Kent. This project, with an estimated cost of around £8.2 billion, is designed not only to facilitate smoother traffic flow but also to spur economic growth by improving access to major ports and distribution centers. A Lower Thames crossing is expected to handle approximately 4.5 million heavy goods vehicles in its first year, showcasing its critical role in supporting the UK's logistics and supply chain. Initially targeted for completion in the late 2022, the project's timeline has been adjusted, with the latest projections setting the opening date in the early 2030s. Many countries are constructing travel projects, but what about a singular city? Let's check out the Grand Paris Express, France's most ambitious public transport project to date. This colossal undertaking involves the creation of 4 new automatic metro lines and the extension of existing Line 14. By its completion, the network will add approximately 200 kilometers or 124 miles of track and 68 new stations to the Paris Metro, aiming to serve 2 million passengers daily. With an estimated cost of over €35 billion, the Grand Paris Express is designed to enhance connectivity across the suburban areas of Paris, directly linking various communes to the city center and major airports without the need for transfers. This project is not just about facilitating easier commutes, it's about stimulating economic growth, reducing traffic congestion, and promoting sustainable urban development. The initial phases of the Grand Paris Express have already begun, with a completion date for the entire network projected by 2030. However, specific lines and stations will open in stages, with the first new routes expected to be operational before the 2024 Paris Olympics. Let's travel back to India, where another gigantic airport project is set to change the country's travel industry. The Navi Mumbai International Airport is poised to become a pivotal gateway to India, addressing the surging air traffic demands in Mumbai and its metropolitan region. This ambitious project is being developed to complement the existing C.H. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport, with the goal of handling up to 60 million passengers annually by the end of its phased construction. With an estimated cost of over $2.5 billion, Navi Airport is set to sprawl across approximately 1,160 hectares of land. Originally slated for completion by 2019, the project has faced delays due to various challenges, including land acquisition and environmental concerns. The latest updates suggest a phased opening, with the first phase now expected to be operational by late 2024. But aviation is not the only form of transport India is investing heavily into. It's time to talk about the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail, also known as the Bullet Train project. Spanning approximately 508 kilometers or 316 miles, this high-speed rail link aims to reduce travel time between Mumbai, Maharashtra, and Ahmedabad, Gujarat, from the current 8 hours to a mere 2 hours and 7 minutes. Endowed with a generous loan from Japan, covering a significant portion of the project's estimated cost of $15 billion, the rail promises to be a marvel of modern engineering and technology. It will feature 12 stations along its route, utilizing Japan's renowned Shinkansen E5 series of bullet trains, which are celebrated for their punctuality, safety, and speed. The project's ambitious goal is to be operational by 2027, although this timeline could face adjustments due to challenges such as land acquisition and environmental clearances. Let's check out a railway project utilizing technology never used in the country before. The Northeast Maglev project is set to redefine high-speed travel along the Northeast Corridor, proposing to use state-of-the-art superconducting magnetic levitation technology to connect Washington, D.C. and New York City. This cutting-edge transportation solution aims to slash the current travel time from approximately 3 hours to just 1 hour between these two pivotal cities, covering a distance of about 225 miles. Estimated to cost upwards of $100 billion, the Northeast Maglev represents a monumental investment in future mobility, promising speeds of up to 311 miles per hour. The project is in the preliminary stages, with significant steps such as environmental impact assessments and securing funding currently underway. Early projections suggest that, if all goes according to plan, the first phase, connecting Washington, D.C., to Baltimore, could be operational by the late 2022, marking the beginning of a new era in American transportation. Let's travel across the world to Thailand, where one of the largest airports in the region is being constructed. Utapao Aviation City, a cornerstone of Thailand's Eastern Economic Corridor, represents a visionary leap towards establishing a leading aerospace hub in Southeast Asia. This extensive project, centered around the existing Utapao International Airport, spans over 30 square kilometers and aims to merge aviation activities with commercial, industrial, and logistic developments, creating a fully integrated aerospace ecosystem. With a projected investment of approximately $9 billion, Utapao Aviation City is designed to elevate Thailand's aviation industry to global standards, incorporating a new passenger terminal to handle up to 60 million passengers annually. The development is phased, with the first stage aiming for completion by 2024. However, the full vision of Utapao Aviation City, including its advanced industrial and commercial components, is expected to materialize by 2030. It's time to visit the construction of the longest sea bridge in India. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link is an engineering marvel set to redefine connectivity between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. Spanning 22 kilometers, this mega-project includes a 16.5-kilometer sea bridge and 5.5 kilometers of viaducts on land, designed to facilitate the seamless flow of traffic across Mumbai's eastern seaboard. With an investment of approximately $2.4 billion, the bridge is not just a feat of engineering but also an initiative to boost economic growth. The link features 6 lanes, capable of handling up to 70,000 vehicles per day, and includes provisions for future public transport upgrades. Initially expected to be completed by 2022, delays have pushed the anticipated completion date to 2024. Staying in Asia, let's transition over to another state-of-the-art high-speed rail project, the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore High-Speed Rail. It's set to revolutionize travel between Malaysia and Singapore, two of Southeast Asia's most dynamic economies. Spanning approximately 350 kilometers, this high-speed rail link aims to cut travel time between the two cities from over 4 hours by car to just 90 minutes by train, offering an efficient, sustainable alternative to air and road travel. With an estimated cost of $15 billion, the rail project is expected to greatly enhance economic ties, promote tourism, and facilitate greater cross-border mobility for the approximately 33 million people who travel between Malaysia and Singapore annually. The project includes plans for 7 stations, each designed to be a catalyst for urban and economic development within its locale. Originally slated for completion by 2026, the project has experienced delays and was temporarily suspended to allow both governments to review and revise its terms. As of the latest updates, the project is expected to resume, with a new completion date yet to be determined. But a type of travel megaproject we have not discussed yet in this video are artificial rivers, and Turkey is constructing a massive one as we speak. The Istanbul Canal is set to carve a new waterway connecting the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, running parallel to the Bosphorus Strait. Spanning approximately 45 kilometers or 28 miles in length, and designed to alleviate maritime traffic congestion in the Bosphorus, the canal aims to create a safer and more efficient route for vessels navigating between the two seas. With an estimated cost hovering around $15 billion, the construction includes plans for new bridges, highways, and the development of residential and commercial areas along the canal, promising a significant boost to the local economy and real estate market. The ambitious project has faced environmental and financial challenges, leading to varied estimates regarding its completion. Initially set for completion by 2023 to coincide with the centenary of the Turkish Republic, the timeline has been adjusted, with no definitive completion year currently stated. Once operational, the Istanbul Canal is expected to significantly impact global maritime trade routes, offering an alternative path through one of the world's most strategically important maritime corridors. It's time to talk about a Malaysian travel megaproject next, called the Klang Valley MRT, a transformative public transport initiative designed to dramatically improve urban mobility in and around Kuala Lumpur. The SBK line, already operational since July 2017, spans 51 kilometers and features 31 stations, seamlessly connecting key urban and suburban areas. The SSP line, extending over 52.2 kilometers with 37 stations, is poised to further enhance the network's coverage upon its completion. As of recently, the SSP line is targeted for full operation by 2024, promising a significant reduction in travel times and congestion in one of Southeast Asia's most dynamic metropolitan areas. With an estimated investment surpassing $7 billion for the first two lines alone, the Klang Valley MRT project stands as one of Malaysia's largest infrastructure undertakings. It underscores the nation's commitment to sustainable urban development, aiming to serve over 2 million passengers daily upon the completion of all phases. Welcome to the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, an engineering marvel that isn't just a dam but a beacon of a nation's aspiration and unyielding perseverance. We're talking about a dam that engulfs 74 billion cubic meters of water, creating an artificial lake of epic proportions. GERD, with its staggering figures, propels itself into the global spotlight, with a reservoir spanning an impressive 1,874 square kilometers. That's an expanse greater than the entire city of Los Angeles, all being harnessed to empower and electrify a nation thirsty for progress. This powerhouse is set to churn out 6,000 megawatts of electricity, enough to light up multiple cities and potentially transform Ethiopia into a significant power exporter in Africa. For context, that is more than double the energy produced by Hoover Dam in the USA. Despite its original construction goal set for 2022, the timeline of GERD's completion continues to be postponed for now. It's time to travel to Tajikistan next. Here, atop the powerful currents of the Vaksh River, the Ragan Dam is being meticulously forged to cultivate a whopping 10.3 billion cubic meters of water. A sea of water embanked, ready to become a potent catalyst for generating a staggering 3,600 megawatts of electricity, enough to power over 2.5 million homes annually based on average consumption rates. The Ragan Dam, soaring to scrape the skies at a monumental height of 335 meters, is far from just a feat of engineering. It's an emblem of towering ambition set amidst the rugged landscapes of Tajikistan. Your thoughts may linger on the cost of manifesting such a grandiose vision. Well, engraved in every inch of the dam is a piece of its remarkable $3.9 billion investment. This isn't just capital, it's a financial testament to a nation's dedication to uplift its energy potentials and secure a stable electric future for generations to cascade through time. Peering into its operational horizon, the Ragan Dam aims to unleash its full might by 2028, showcasing not merely as a reservoir of physical power, but as an embodiment of the intricate dance between targeted investment, environmental calculus, and engineered precision. It's time to investigate the Metson Dam next, burgeoning amidst the lush landscapes of Myanmar, where the grand Irrawaddy River threads its vibrant story through the terrain. A chronicle of energy viability and environmental considerations slowly paints itself upon the rich tapestry of water and earth. Poised to be monumental in its stature, the Metson Dam's formidable presence in the course of the Irrawaddy River is projected to harness an impressive 13 billion cubic meters of water. The Irrawaddy River is not simply a body of water. It's a pulsating ecological matrix, providing sanctuary to approximately 43 fish species that are found nowhere else on Earth, in addition to critically supporting the livelihoods and food sources for millions of people. Thus, the construction of the dam is not solely an infrastructural endeavor. It transforms into an immense obligation to conserve, shield, and sustain the intricate equilibrium that nature has nurtured over countless eons. The Metson Dam, envisioned with a power generation capacity of 6,000 megawatts, symbolizes an energy potential robust enough to light millions of homes across the nation. To realize this ambitious venture, a staggering investment of approximately $3.6 billion is anticipated. Amidst the expansive stretches of the Irrawaddy, a torrent of controversy flows parallelly, threatening to inundate the project's objectives with waves of opposition and environmental apprehension. Numerous ecosystems and biodiverse habitats, intertwined with the flow of the Irrawaddy, stand to be disturbed by the dam's looming presence. Human tales entwine with environmental narratives, as communities resident along the river confront an impending displacement. With their histories, cultures, and livelihoods deeply rooted in the fertile banks of the Irrawaddy, the dam's imposition has seeded disquiet and resistance among the populace, foregrounding the strife between infrastructural advancement and the preservation of sociocultural integrity. A precise completion date remains elusive. However, due to various complexities and controversies, it has been iterated that the project will not see completion before the timeline stretches into the unforeseeable future. Next on the list, it's time for the Grand Inga Dam, stationed along the bountiful spine of the Congo River in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It is envisioned to be the beacon of hydroelectric potential, surpassing every existing power station on the globe in both scale and output. Dive deeper, and the statistics are nothing short of staggering. The Grand Inga Dam is poised to have a capacity of an astronomical 40,000 megawatts. It eclipses the Three Gorges Dam in China, the world's current largest power station, by potentially doubling its electricity output. But the true essence of the Grand Inga doesn't just lie in its Herculean capacity. It's slated to illuminate a pathway that would potentially electrify the African continent, connecting the electric pulse from its southern tip all the way through to its northern extremities. However, interwoven within the layers of its engineering ambition lies a tapestry of challenges, particularly when nurturing and protecting the delicate ecological and socio-economic balance of the Congo River Basin. The dam, with initial phases originally planned for completion in 2025, has seen its timeline cascade into 2030 and beyond, embracing not just the mechanical and logistical challenges, but also the ethical, environmental, and social dimensions that each delay introduces. And finally, we arrive at the Diamer-Basha Dam, prominently situated amid the towering mountains of Pakistan. The geographical location of the dam positions it as a crucial entity in a region that's a blend of rich cultural tapestries and diverse ecological biomass. Thus, its presence is more than monumental. It's a vital vein in the geographical and cultural expanse of the nation. Zooming into the construction nuances, the Diamer-Basha Dam, with an expected financial outline upwards of $14 billion, mobilizes an army of engineers, laborers, and machines to maneuver approximately 17 million cubic meters of concrete. This mammoth task is set against a backdrop of complex geographical and seismic variables, thereby demanding an exemplary display of engineering precision, material science, and logistical prowess to secure its envisioned stature and functionality. Furthermore, it is pivotal to underscore the dam's ecological and social imprints. Over 30,000 individuals are anticipated to be relocated as a result of its construction, narrating stories of sacrifices entwined with the promise of a brighter, energized future. Concurrently, the dam's reservoir would submerge extensive areas, necessitating meticulous planning and execution to mitigate ecological impacts, preserving the indelible natural signatures of the region. And thus, as the Diamer-Basha Dam strides towards its anticipated completion in 2028, it effortlessly intertwines tales of human ambition and the unyielding spirit of international collaboration, paving pathways through which water, energy, and human stories flow, converging towards a future wherein sustainability and development cascade in unison.
Japan is one of the best connected countries across the globe, mainly because of its incredibly fast and efficient rail network. But because Japan is largely made up of islands, it's not possible to easily reach every place in the country by train. During the 90s, there was an idea to connect the islands of Honshu and Shikoku. These two islands had previously only been accessible by ferry, so the Honshu-Shikoku Bridge project was designed to give it a road connection as well and make it more accessible this way. It would become the largest and most expensive construction project in Japanese history. It involved building 3 expressways across a network of 18 bridges, also designed to welcome pedestrians, cyclists, and trains. Most of the structures are suspension bridges and were completed between 1998 and 1999. At the time of construction, the project cost $48 billion, which adjusted for inflation is $75 billion today. Based on studies following the construction of the bridge, the project has been a great success for the economy in Japan, while also making everyday lives much easier for people who live on the islands. Neom is a futuristic technology-based city being built in northwestern Saudi Arabia on the coast of the Red Sea. The word Neom means new future, and that is surely what this city will become. It's being specifically developed to become a tourist hub, but also as the most futuristic city in the world that incorporates smart technologies in its entire design. It is planned to cover an area of 200 square miles, and it has an estimated cost of $500 billion. The Saudi Arabian government has already put the full amount in an investment company to cover everything that's needed to finish the construction of the entire city. With the region planned to be filled with numerous towns, cities, ports, and zones for industrial development, it's hoped that Neom will be finished by 2030, with the first section of the city completed by 2025. The world's largest green hydrogen plant has also begun construction there. Because of its location and the transport networks that are being set up in the city, it's said that 40% of the world's population will actually be able to travel to Neom within just 4 hours. Some experts have, however, expressed doubt about if the mega project is even humanly possible. According to a 2022 report, only 2 buildings have been constructed so far. Countries around the globe are now realizing how important it is to install high-speed rail networks. The United Kingdom also realized this, and that's why they are constructing the most expensive mega project in Europe to date, the High-Speed 2 Railway. There has been a long concern in the country about the imbalance of investment that goes towards London and the surrounding regions of the United Kingdom. HS2 is a project that will help to address that. The first stage is a high-speed rail network link between London and Birmingham, which is expected to be completed by 2031. The second phase of the mega project will see the line being extended to Manchester and Leeds by 2040. The issue with the High-Speed 2, however, and why very many British people have anything but good to say about it, is the quickly rising costs of the mega project together with a number of delays. Phase 1 of the project should have already been near completion, but at the moment of making this video, it's over a decade away. The cost of the mega project has more than tripled during construction to a total of $128 billion. Adding on top of all these issues, there's much more. Countless homes along the railway route had to be destroyed, leaving people to be even more upset with the construction of HS2. I think you now begin to understand why there are so many people questioning the construction of this railway. A lot of people are saying it's a much better idea to invest all of the budgets for the railway project elsewhere, such as to improve the connected cities themselves. Forest City is an integrated residential development and private town located in Malaysia. The idea of the city was first announced in 2006 as a collaboration between the Malaysian and Chinese governments. If it all goes to plan, it's hoped to be completed by 2035. Constructed near Singapore to take advantage of strong connections with the city-state, the Forest City will be made out of 4 artificial islands that cover an area of around 6.5 square miles. The concept of Forest City is to bring residential and commercial buildings together in a way that's respectful to nature. Each building is designed to be covered in living gardens to almost give the impression that it's a natural environment. The cost is estimated to be $100 billion, but it's still in progress, so the final cost is unclear. So far, the progress of constructing Forest City has been slow, like with any other mega project on this list, mainly due to the fact that the location was a former swamp. Because of this, it's far more difficult to create stable islands and stable skyscrapers. While these problems seem to be solved now, it did cause major delays to the construction of the city in Malaysia. As of right now, 15,000 residential units have already been bought, with some of them already being in use. This is far less than the 700,000 that the authorities had hoped to sell by now. However, they still have an extremely long way to go until the city is complete. And there is very little doubt that such a unique place will go unnoticed by people looking for a new city to live in. It will for sure gain a lot of attention by the time construction is finished. This is the largest structure humans ever sent into space. It weighs almost 400 tons, and to build it, it was assembled gradually while orbiting planet Earth. The main structure of the ISS was built between 1998 and 2011. It has been consistently occupied since the year 2000, and it generally holds crews of between 3 to 6 people. It has been occupied for a total of 21 years and 344 days when making this video. The cost of running the space station has gone up to $160 billion. NASA alone spends $3 to $4 billion a year on it, but the mega project is also supported by multiple nations around the globe: Russia, Japan, Europe, and Canada. It takes 90 minutes for the International Space Station to make a complete circuit around the Earth. However, it's not moving without any purpose. The space station is a busy laboratory where astronauts spend a lot of time performing experiments. In simple terms, these experiments seek to understand everything that's going on in space and try to discover new mysteries about it. Moving away from space, let's visit the ocean, specifically in Japan's Kansai region. This is the world's first airport to be built on an artificial island. The Kansai International Airport is one of Asia's busiest and biggest airports. It can remain operational 24 hours a day because of its isolated location. When this floating airport was approved, the location for its construction did not exist yet. So the first step in the construction pipeline was to make an artificial island that can hold a top-tier airport. Construction on this man-made island was started in 1987. A big 30-meter layer of earth was laid on top of the water, and the result was a 2.8-mile-long and 1.5-mile-wide artificial island, ready to have an entire airport on top of it. The island itself was completed in 1990, and the airport was finished 4 years after that. It was officially opened in 1994 after some modifications, repairs, and the addition of a second runway. The total cost of Kansai International Airport is a whopping $24 billion. However, because of the weird location and innovative concept, the airport was an instant hit. More than 28 million passengers used Kansai International Airport in 2019, and it ranked third place right behind Tokyo Airport and Narita International Airport. Expansions for Kansai International Airport are underway, which will enable the airport to welcome 40 million international passengers a year by 2025.
Nestled within Neom is an engineering marvel known as the Line. Challenging traditional urban development, the Line is designed around people, not roads. It's just 200 meters wide, and it stretches over a remarkable 170 kilometers, featuring 2 mirrored horizontal skyscrapers. The Line isn't just a construction project, it's a reimagining of urban living, expecting to provide a home for 9 million people by 2045, where every facility is within a 5-minute walk. Digging deeper into the Line, the city's design is a direct challenge to traditional urban development, and with that comes its share of controversies. Critics argue that the absence of streets may not be a practical solution, and question the feasibility of the high-speed transit system. The reliance on renewable energy, while commendable, also faces scrutiny regarding its capability to support such a large-scale urban development. However, many see the Line as a blueprint for future cities. The pedestrian-centric design is hailed as a forward-thinking approach to urban living, potentially reducing traffic congestion, pollution, and fostering closer community interactions. It's time to venture further into another large megaproject called Trojena, an emerging jewel nestled within the rugged terrains of Neom's crown, situated in the zenith of the kingdom's towering mountain range. Trojena is on a brisk journey to etch its name as the pioneering outdoor ski resort in the Gulf. The masterminds behind Trojena harbor a robust ambition, a vision articulated in numbers: 10,000 job opportunities, a thriving community of 7,000 residents, and the magnetic allure to draw 700,000 visitors by the year 2030. The landscape of Trojena is an exquisite canvas, featuring wellness resorts that promise serenity, retail outlets offering a slice of modernity, and a giant ski village. For those who find solace in the frosty embrace of winter, Trojena extends a playground of endless adventures, simultaneously emerging as a powerhouse for employment generation within the region. Yet, the road to realizing Trojan's grand vision is not laid with roses, but rather it's a path intertwined with formidable challenges. The mountainous embrace, while offering a scenic backdrop, unfolds a series of engineering and construction conundrums. The audacious idea of carving out a ski resort in a land known for its desert expanse has spurred skepticism, especially concerning its environmental footprint and the voracious water demands such an endeavor entails. Despite the cloud of skepticism, a chorus of supporters vociferously argue in favor of Trojan's unique geographical positioning. They envisage a scenario where Trojan serves as Saudi Arabia's golden ticket to foray into the bustling global winter sports market. With every snowflake that descends upon Trojan's slopes, the promise of attracting a global congregation of winter sport aficionados grows, potentially catalyzing a vibrant influx of tourism. It's time to dive into the next project, Oxegen, which will stand as the world's largest floating structure, strategically positioned close to the bustling maritime pathway of the Suez Canal. It is conceptualized as a next-generation port that is destined to redefine maritime logistics through a fully automated and seamlessly integrated supply chain and logistics network. The layered complexity of this project melds together a state-of-the-art port, logistics, and rail delivery facility with thriving residential and business communities. The choice of positioning itself near the Suez Canal has been a subject of intense scrutiny and discussions among global observers. Critics argue that having such a significant structure close to a vital maritime route could stir geopolitical tensions, possibly altering regional dynamics. Furthermore, the floating city concept, while being a stroke of innovative genius, also triggers concerns regarding its potential impact on the delicate marine ecosystems, a concern that resonates with environmental advocates globally. But on the flip side, the Saudi government ardently believes that Oxegen has the potential to revolutionize maritime logistics and trade. They see it as a monumental step towards establishing Saudi Arabia as a pivotal player in the labyrinth of global commerce. The emphasis of the project on automation is seen as a groundbreaking approach to address some of the long-standing challenges that have plagued modern ports and logistics operations. Last on our list is the illustrious Red Sea Project, an ambitious venture spearheaded by Red Sea Global, whose vision is to create the world's most sustainable luxury tourism destination. The grandeur of this project is revealed through its expansive scope, which encompasses 22 unspoiled islands and 6 serene inland sites, all nestled within the exotic charm of Saudi Arabia's western coastline along the Red Sea. A meticulously planned layout is set to house approximately 8,000 lavish hotel rooms, each offering a blend of luxury and eco-friendliness. A hallmark of the Red Sea Project is its unwavering commitment to sustainable initiatives that are intricately woven into the fabric of its design and operation. A cornerstone of this commitment is the extensive use of renewable energy sources, which will not only power the entire development but also set a new benchmark in eco-conscious luxury tourism. But while the initiative has been largely celebrated, it has also spurred a series of debates, particularly concerning its environmental footprint. The construction activities on such pristine islands have been significant points of contention among environmentalists. Skepticism also hovers around the project's ambitious goals of achieving zero waste and meeting its energy needs through renewable sources. Supporters of the Red Sea Project, however, hail it as a benchmark in the realm of sustainable luxury tourism. The meticulously planned coral reef restoration projects and a myriad of other environmental initiatives are seen as proactive steps towards not only preserving but significantly enhancing the region's natural beauty. These measures, coupled with the luxury amenities available, are anticipated to provide an unparalleled experience for visitors, thereby positioning the Red Sea Project as a leading destination where luxury meets sustainability. Through these efforts, the Red Sea Project aspires to create a harmonious balance between indulgent tourism and ecological responsibility, setting a precedent that could inspire similar projects around the globe.
First, we have the city that has almost no cars on the roads. Ashgabat is the capital city of Turkmenistan, and it was built in 1991. The president of the country wanted the city to create a golden era, but this was a massive failure. The city is referred to as the City of the Dead because of how empty it appears to be. It's almost empty because Turkmenistan has a very strict dictatorial regime, making it one of the least visited countries in the world. Speaking of least visited, have you heard about the tourist destination that's now completely abandoned? Varosha was once a resort located in the city of Famagusta, Cyprus. The resort had skyscraping hotels, and the beaches were often referred to as the best in the country. It was home to around 39,000 residents and hosted 700,000 annual visitors and tourists. The locals absolutely loved the place until the following happened in 1974. Turkey decided to invade Cyprus and they gained control of the resort. Tens of thousands of locals and tourists left the place immediately, hoping to return as soon as possible. But unfortunately, they never got to return. Since the Turkish military fenced and blocked off the entire resort, it has now been abandoned for decades and is currently part of the Turkish Republic in northern Cyprus. Now this resort might be abandoned, but the Paris replica located in China is much worse. It's well known that China has many replicas of cities around the globe. They have fake Venice, a fake White House, and also a fake London like Thames City. So it may not seem as weird to have a Paris replica as well, but this city never gained any popularity. In 2007, a town named Tianducheng, located about 3 hours west of Shanghai, started constructing a miniature city that looks exactly like Paris. It was meant for a population of 10,000 people, and it came with everything you would imagine inside an imposter Paris. A 300-foot tall Eiffel Tower, gray Parisian facades, cobblestone streets, and many fountains. The town looks quite nice, and you would imagine people from China would love to live here. But the opposite was true. Although all of the other replicas mentioned earlier were an instant hit among the population, this wasn't a hit at all. The Paris replica remains empty not because Paris isn't popular, but because of its location. Tianducheng's developers constructed the city in the middle of nowhere, completely cut off from urban connections or any form of public transport. This means the only way to get to the city is by car. The only people that travel to the town nowadays are urban decay tourists and the occasional wedding couple that wants to take pictures in front of the fake Eiffel Tower. However, the developers of the town think hope isn't lost entirely just yet. The plan is to build many more new cities close to where Tianducheng is located, meaning the connectivity to the location would improve massively. If and when this is actually going to happen is currently unknown, but maybe in the future, the Paris of the East will become popular. An abandoned replica of Paris might be crazy, but what about this abandoned horror island? Kashima Island is a small unoccupied location right in front of the Japanese coast. The island has earned the nickname Battleship Island because of its shape, and it has now been abandoned for several years. However, the island isn't completely abandoned. People who visited the island claim that there are ghosts of the past who have taken over the entire place. In 1887, the Ashima Island was discovered, and it became an important coal mine at the time. In 1916, the first ever building appeared on the island, and after this, many more were constructed as well. Around 50 years later, in 1974, the mine started to run out of coal, and many people left the island. Very soon after this, all of the buildings were reclaimed by nature. The heavy weather conditions in the area of the island started affecting the concrete, and many buildings started falling apart. Sometimes people camped out on the island, but this was a very dangerous thing to do. The Japanese government wanted to discourage people from going over there on their own, so they decided to open up the island to the public. All of the extremely dangerous buildings that were on the verge of collapsing were destroyed and replaced to make sure the tourists visiting the location wouldn't get hurt. However, opening the island to the public didn't attract many tourists at all, since the history of the island is quite dark. Many people were forced to work on the island in the 1900s, and the conditions of these laborers were horrible. Some of the workers never made it back home. The people who have visited the island claim the echoes of the past still linger there. Fishermen who sail near the island claim they have seen strange lights in the buildings. Even though the entire island has no electricity, strange noises have been heard by tourists, and some even claim that they were touched by unseen hands. Nowadays, the island is still open to the public, so if you love horror, perhaps you should go and visit this scary island. Speaking of horror, have you ever seen this ghost city filled with abandoned skyscrapers? The Xiangyong International Project is a huge real estate project constructed in Shijiazhuang, China. The design was originally planned as a city complex integrating theme parks, business districts, luxury hotels, offices, and even tourism and residence. It covers an area of around 1,800 acres, and it was considered a strategic investment by the government to help out the real estate sector. However, the real estate project didn't help out whatsoever. In 2014, Hebei Real Estate Development Group, a well-known private company in the Hebei province, was put under investigation by local authorities. Ever since this happened, housing prices have absolutely tanked, and the company accumulated billions of debts. However, tens of thousands of the apartments inside the skyscrapers were already sold to the residents, but they weren't allowed to move in because the project was seized. In 2017, the Hebei Real Estate Development Group filed for bankruptcy, undermining the original project and leaving tens of thousands of people to deal with the controversial situation. The total spending cost of the project is a whopping $17 billion. It is now a very famous location to practice urban photography and for tourists to explore. However, this might change in the future, since the real estate company called Ida Real Estate has taken control over the project now. They have taken on a real challenge since it will be very difficult to revive the city. Although it has been unfinished for many years and it has been known as the most beautiful unfinished location ever, Jiangyong International is now gradually recovering and construction is slowly starting up again. Many people have faith in the resurrection of the town, but many experts say that it might be a dead end and that it will be an abandoned ghost city forever. Now, this might be a crazy ghost metropolis, but did you know there is an abandoned medieval ghost village located in Italy? For nearly 50 years, the town of Krakow in southern Italy has been abandoned. Krakow was once a monastic center, a feudal town and the center of education with a university, castle, church, and plazas. But today, the abandoned location of Krakow has been featured in many movies, including Saving Grace and James Bond. It is a former medieval village located in the Basilicata region of Italy, about 27 miles away from the Gulf of Taranto. The town occupies a rock formation above the surrounding hills, with its architecture neatly built into the landscape. Strategically located on top of a 1,300 feet high cliff overlooking the countryside of southern Italy, this ghost town once provided panoramic views and warnings of potential attackers. The city was found around the year 540 by the Greeks, who had moved inland from the coast. Back in the day, Krakow was called Monte d'Oro. Tombstones have been found near the village dating back to the 8th century, which suggests that the original settlement dates back to the Iron Age. The oldest building in Krakow that still stands until this day is the Norman Tower, which was built in 1040. The population of Krakow grew from 450 residents in 1277 to 2,590 residents in 1516. But the future of the village changed forever when a natural disaster struck Krakow in the 1950s, causing many residents to move away from the town. But many of the residents didn't want to leave since they were very attached to this beautiful medieval town. A few years later, the soil conditions of this town deteriorated even further, causing more landslides and making the town very dangerous to live in. In 1963, the last 1,800 residents in Krakow were forced to leave the town for their own safety and were relocated to a town close by. Nowadays, Krakow has been abandoned, plundered, overgrown, and is no longer accessible to the public, only by guided tour. While the town has fallen to ruin, several of the buildings, palaces, and churches still remain intact. In 2010, this beautiful village was added to the watch list by the World Monuments Fund, making sure capital is available to maintain the site of Krakow. At least this town didn't get destroyed, unlike the town of Plymouth that was almost entirely destroyed. The town of Plymouth was once the capital of the Caribbean island of Montserrat. It is often referred to as the Lost Caribbean Paradise, and it also has the nickname the Emerald Isle of the Caribbean. The island was first discovered in 1493 by Christopher Columbus. Ever since, the population of the island grew, starting from 0 in 1493 all the way to 13,000 in 1994. But disaster struck this little paradise on the 18th of July 1995. On that day, the previously dormant volcano Soufriere Hills erupted in fire and fury. Over a period of 5 years, between 1995 and 2000, around 66% of the island's residents were forced to flee, mostly to Great Britain. In the destruction, the little Georgian capital city of Plymouth was destroyed and buried under the volcanic ash. Until this day, the volcano still continues to erupt, and the whole northern half of the island is inhabitable because of this. During the eruption, the former airport of the island was also destroyed and buried by volcanic flows. For a few years after this, the only way on and off the island was by boat. In July 2005, a new airport was opened on the northern part of the island, where it's safe until this day. Nowadays, Plymouth is buried under 4.6 feet of ash. The sight and carnage are so insane that it is called the Pompeii of the Caribbean. The volcano destroyed around 80% of the entire town. The only people visiting the deserted town today are tourists, together with their certified tour guides. There is a big exclusion zone on the island that tourists are not allowed to enter. But the most insane sight of this video has to be the abandoned city full of Disney-like castles near the small town of Mudurnu in Turkey's northwest region. It sits Burj Al Babas, a ghost town filled with castles that look like they're part of the latest Disney movie. Within this town, there are more than 500 vacant homes that all look the exact same. Their blue and gray color scheme brings to mind the castles you would usually spot in Disney parks. But how did this town even get here? The project got its start in 2014 when a few construction entrepreneurs from Istanbul drafted plans for a $200 million luxury community. When thinking of the design of the community, the entrepreneurs pulled inspiration from their home city of Istanbul. The Disney-like villas are meant to mimic the Galata Tower and Maiden's Tower, as well as British and American architecture. The original plan included 700 villas that the entrepreneurs hoped would attract foreign buyers. The homes were sold for $370,000 to $500,000 each, and at the start, the project was very successful. 350 out of the 732 planned villas were sold right away to customers from all over the world. But as construction began on the mega project, not everyone was happy with it after all. Many locals were frustrated that the castle strayed away from Mudurnu's original architecture, and many others worried that the construction of all the villas would damage nearby nature. Soon after this, oil prices also plunged, causing potential buyers to back out of their initial agreements, and others stopped making plans on their future homes. All of these events combined with Turkey's insane inflation, political problems, and economic downturn led to the entrepreneurs filing for bankruptcy in 2018, freezing the entire project. What remained were 587 completed Disney castles and $27 million of debt. But some good news was on the horizon. In 2019, the entrepreneurs were granted permission to finish the construction of all the villas, since their bankruptcy ruling was overturned. However, the good news didn't last long, since only a year later, the pandemic hit, delaying the project once again. Shortly afterwards, the project was then acquired by Nova Group Holdings, an American corporation that might get the project back on its feet. But for now, it remains as a stunning sight of abandoned, identical three-story castles. It now attracts many curious visitors seeking to explore the destination, and it's globally known as one of the largest ghost towns in the world. Hamad International Airport is located in Qatar, and it's named after the previous emir of Qatar, Hamad bin Khalifa. Construction on the airport started in 2005, covering an area of 5,500 acres. It was originally scheduled to open in 2008. But after a series of delays, it eventually opened to the public on April 30th, 2014. It quickly established itself as the best in the Middle East and has surely challenged other global aviation hubs to improve. In 2021 and 2022, the airport won the award for being the world's best airport, beating the 7-year streak Singapore's Changi Airport had. The architecture inside the airport is beautiful, featuring ripple wave ceilings and a lot of expensive material in its design. The interior of the airport is as nice as it can get, and it has an endless list of luxury facilities in the building. For example, it features a wellness center with a swimming pool that looks over the main departure hall. A gym, squash courts, and numerous extremely expensive art pieces are shown off throughout the airport. The airport also has its own mosque, designed to resemble a drop of water. The most well-known art piece at the airport is the Lamp Bear, and it comes at a price point of $6.8 million. The total cost of constructing this airport is estimated to be $16 billion, finishing at a few $billion over budget. That was a pretty impressive airport if you ask me, but did you know that this airport has a runway with traffic driving on it? Gibraltar International Airport, also known as North Front Airport, is located in the British Overseas Territory of Gibraltar. In 1935, the airport opened as an emergency airfield for the Royal Navy at the time. However, the runway was very short back then, making it impossible for big planes to land there. But the impressive thing about this airport is that Winston Churchill Avenue, the main road in Gibraltar, intersects the airport's runway. It has to be closed down every time a plane wants to land at Gibraltar International Airport. When it opens up and you're in your car, you can literally drive on the runway to the other side. But why on earth did Gibraltar decide to go with this crazy runway arrangement? Well, they basically had no other choice because the runway falls in the full length of Gibraltar from east to west. The highway that crosses the runway connects the southern part of Gibraltar with the border of Spain. There are very strict safety procedures in place to make sure no car is on the runway when a plane is taking off. Airport authorities perform a thorough inspection prior to each takeoff or landing to make sure the runway is free from any foreign object debris. But it is not just the intersection on the runway that makes this airport impressive. It's also extremely difficult to land at this airport. The unusual location of the massive rock on the island of Gibraltar and the extreme wind conditions make it a real challenge to land here for pilots during the winter season. However, this airport is about to change big time because the government confirmed that a tunnel will be constructed so that the traffic will run underneath the runway. Although an intersection on a runway is quite impressive, landing in the middle of the Alps on one of the shortest runways in the world is much more difficult. This is the case at the Courchevel Airport located in France. It's located at an altitude of 6,588 feet in the middle of the French Alps, making it the highest runway in the world. It was opened around 60 years ago in 1962. The airport literally has a ski slope right next to it, and the runway is only 1,762 feet or 537 meters long. Besides how short the runway is, there is also an impressive difference in height when landing at this airport. It has an upward sloping runway. Because of how small this airport is, it is primarily used by fixed-wing aircrafts and helicopters. Only one time in history, this airport featured a commercial flight back in the 1980s. This flight was served by Tyrolean Airways and it carried 54 passengers. Nowadays, it mainly allows the rich and famous to arrive on the Courchevel mountainside in style, just minutes from 5-star hotels, luxury chalets, and pristine ski slopes. The History Channel program Most Extreme Airports ranks this airport as the 7th most extreme airport around the globe. Now, if you thought that was an impressive airport, what about the biggest airport in the entire world? I'm talking about Beijing Daxing International Airport, located in the Hebei province, China. In 2008, the plan for this airport was to make it a brand new main airport of Beijing, replacing the Capital International Airport, which handled 83 million passengers in 2013. The new airport was planned to handle 120 to 200 million passengers a year, running at full capacity, which would make it the world's busiest airport by passenger traffic. In construction plans for the airport, it was stated that it would consist of 7 runways, 6 for civilian usage and 1 for military purposes. The construction took a total of almost 5 years, opening in September 2019. Unlike typical airport designs, Daxing resembles a starfish form, inspired by traditional Chinese aesthetics. Experts say that the airport will be handling 75 million passengers a year by 2025. The cost of constructing the airport was estimated to be $11.2 billion. But if you've been watching this channel for longer, you know that almost every mega project crosses its own budget. It ended up costing a total of $17 billion, $5.8 billion more than the estimated cost. The airport covers an area of over 1,400 square kilometers or 868 square miles. But why would Beijing need another huge airport next to the Beijing Capital Airport that already handles 85 million passengers a year? The city of Beijing has seen a massive surge in air traffic growth for the past couple years, and because of this, the Capital International Airport has become overcrowded since 2016. This airport exceeded the 100 million passenger mark in 2018, while it was built to handle 85 million passengers a year. To take away a lot of stress from the capital airport, Daxing Airport became the brand new central hub of Beijing. The biggest airport in the world is obviously impressive, but have you ever seen how difficult it is to land at this airport? The Princess Juliana International Airport is very well known in the plane spotting community, and that's because of how pilots have to land at this airport. In 2015, the airport handled 1.8 million passengers, and it was named after Queen Juliana of the Netherlands, who visited the airport's opening in 1944. In 1964, the airport was remodeled and relocated with a new terminal building and control tower. Now, the airport is so impressive because of the very low altitude flyover landings that pilots have to perform to safely land on the runway. You can literally relax on the beach and watch airplanes fly over you only a few feet away from you. The runway is extremely close to the shore and Maho Beach, making the footage of planes landing at this location look absolutely stunning. The airport has been one of the most popular, if not the most popular, plane spotting site in the world. The sight of the airplanes landing at this airport is truly stunning, but did you know how impressive the main airport in Singapore is? In 1981, the Changi Airport opened, replacing the single runway Paya Lebar Airport at that time. Only 5 years later, construction on the second terminal had already started, responding to the rapid influx of new passengers. But the introduction of some unseen amenities at the time is what really sparked interest with the rest of the world. For instance, Changi Airport is the first ever airport to have a swimming pool located in the building. Later on, Terminal 3 was constructed and opened in 2008, and Terminal 4 was opened in 2017. Nowadays, it's one of the largest transportation hubs located in Asia. It is the most comfortable airport in the world, featuring a massive jewel building that is well known for its rain vortex, beautiful forest valley, and crazy glass bridges. It has been rated at the world's best airport several times, and also as the world's cleanest airport. The aviation hub hosts about 65 million yearly passengers, putting it in the top 20 of busiest airports across the globe. It is currently served with 3 massive runways, and it consists of 4 terminal buildings, with a 5th one currently under construction. In 2014, Brazil hosted the Football World Cup. To make this happen, they had to build a total of 12 brand new football stadiums and also renovate some older ones. One of these football stadiums was the Arena da Amazônia, located in Manaus. This arena took a total of 4 years to build, and the cost was an estimate of $250 million. Now here's where it gets interesting. The location of the stadium was in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, which meant that building it wasn't going to be an easy task. Although Manaus is Brazil's 7th largest city, moving large amounts of goods to this location was very difficult. A lot of the materials used for the stadium were being shipped from Portugal, and that journey takes about 3 weeks. This ramped up the costs of the mega project very quickly, but this is only where the problems begin for the arena. After investing all this capital into the construction of the stadium, only 4 World Cup matches actually took place at the Arena da Amazônia. This obviously meant almost no capital was generated to compensate for the cost of building the stadium. And after these 4 matches took place, it was rarely used. The local football clubs in Manaus couldn't fill out the entire stadium simply because the clubs weren't big enough. Sometimes the stadium does get used, like for a few rounds during the 2016 Olympic Games, but that's about it. Nowadays, the stadium rarely hosts any events, leaving the stadium to be completely useless. This airport was built because Spain is one of the top-tier travel locations for tourists, so they needed extra space to handle all the air traffic. The plan was for the Ciudad Real Central Airport to become the tourist hub of Spain and to make it a great alternative to the extremely crowded Madrid airport at that time. The new airport could handle around 2 million passengers a year, which is a pretty low number. That's why expansion plans were introduced to bump that up to 10 million passengers a year. In 2009, the airport became fully operational. However, only 3 years later, everything collapsed because the company running the project filed for bankruptcy. There are numerous issues this airport has to deal with, starting with location. The name was Central Airport, but the location wasn't really central at all. It's located over 125 miles away from Madrid.
This is why many tourists avoided the brand new airport because they didn't feel like traveling for hours to get to their final destination. Not only the passengers but also airlines prefer to fly to the capital, Madrid. With both parties not interested in the airport whatsoever, it accumulated a $350 million debt by 2012. Following the debt, the airport was put up for auction a year later in 2013. In 2019, the airport was sold to the new owners. The new owners decided it was best to reinvent it to be a home for grounded planes. This new approach of becoming a parking lot for airplanes gave the airport a brand new purpose. However, this was all during the pandemic, so eventually all of the planes will be used again, thus making the airport useless. If you thought this project was useless, wait till you hear about number 4, Yucca Mountain Waste Repository. This next location is used as a storage facility for nuclear waste and other high-level radioactive waste. It was constructed to deal with a very sensitive issue that was known around the globe. If nuclear waste is not stored properly, it can be deadlier than anything humanity has ever experienced. This was a problem because most countries couldn't figure out where to store it properly. In the 1980s, the United States tried to find a permanent solution to this ever-growing nuclear waste issue. The Yucca Mountain in Nevada was identified as the best location for this mega project. On paper, this seems like a perfect location, but the people of Nevada were furious. Their argument was that the location isn't suitable at all, because it's close to a nearby water source used by millions of Americans. Despite this setback, they resumed construction in 2002, but doing this was a big mistake since the opposition only grew stronger because of this. For them, the only reason this was happening in Nevada seemed to be its low population and a small political saying in the matter. By the time Barack Obama became president, the entire project was very political, and in 2010, the Obama administration stopped funding the waste repository project. Construction completely shut down, and the project became unworkable. 3 years later, a federal court ordered the project to be resumed, but there has been very little progress ever since. Right now, it's not part of the country's plans anymore, so construction may never continue again. The total cost of the project is over $17 billion. And because the project remains unused until this day, the Yucca Mountain Waste Repository is completely useless. But it can get far more useless. Let's look at number 3, the World Islands. This mega project consists of a lot of small artificial islands that are supposed to represent the world map located off the coast of Dubai. This may sound like a fun concept, but if you take a closer look at it, you can tell it's absolutely useless. The project has a total of 300 islands, and each island is named after every single country in the world. Each island has a different size, but on average it's about 3.5 acres to 10.4 acres. The entire project covers an area of around 3.7 by 5.6 miles, and it's surrounded by a breakwater island. However, this project was already doomed from the beginning because of the following reason. The construction of the mega project was done entirely by numerous private contractors, making it too ambitious. By 2021, only 9 of the 300 islands were ready for visitors and commercial use. But the problems only kick off here. The islands also don't have their own source of electricity, and the project to run cable under the World Islands completely failed. So far, the cost of the World Islands is a total of $14 billion. Because the islands aren't in use and don't really mean anything, this mega project is useless. Of course, 300 empty islands are useless, but what about a useless skyscraper? That's on number 2, the Ryugyong Hotel. This is the tallest unoccupied building around the globe, also known by its nickname, the Tower of Doom. It's located in North Korea, which is also a part of the reason why it's unoccupied. It's supposed to be a hotel, but North Korea doesn't really fancy hosting tourists. Getting into North Korea as a tourist can be a very difficult challenge, and many tourists don't even consider going there. The reason the 105-story hotel was built in the first place is because in the 1980s, North Korea was actually expected to host a lot of tourists. North Korea wanted to compete with its rival South Korea, who had just finished building the tallest hotel in the world elsewhere. That's why the country started plans to build a unique pyramid-shaped hotel in the capital, Pyongyang. At a height of 330 meters or 1,080 feet, the Ryugyong Hotel would beat the height of South Korea's tallest hotel at the time. However, soon after construction began, the problems started to pop up. The project was immediately hit with engineering problems, and after a lot of delays, the project finally hit its peak height in 1992. But there was one major issue. By the time this happened, the financial backer of the project, the Soviet Union, no longer existed. There was no more capital to fund the project, causing the project to be paused entirely. Back then, the Ryuyong Hotel was just a concrete structure with no windows whatsoever. Only the outer walls were standing. Construction of the hotel was halted for a total of 16 years until a company from Egypt took over. In 2012, this company installed a glass facade and LEDs to the outside of the building for an estimate of $180 million. But if you thought the issues would end here, you're wrong. North Korea was facing new political problems during this time, causing the entire project to be abandoned once again. The total estimated cost of the hotel is over $2 billion, which is around 5% of North Korea's total GDP. No official information is available about whether or not the mega project will ever be finished, although this seems very unlikely since North Korea isn't the wealthiest country. After many attempts to bring this project to life, it remains completely useless. Now, if you thought a useless 105-story building was bad, wait till you hear about the useless capital city. Number 1. Naypyidaw, Myanmar. Number 1 on this list is the capital city of Myanmar. This is a brand new capital completely built from scratch. In 2002, the government secretly started constructing this capital city. In November 2005, Myanmar's leaders announced the new capital to the public, but they kept the name a secret. The name Naypyidaw was revealed 4 months later, which means the king's residence. To this date, the government spent around $4 billion to build the city. The brand new capital city has everything to attract tourism. Over 100 luxury hotels, a 20-lane highway, museums, golf courses, and even a replica of a landmark that used to be part of the last capital city. However, one very important piece of the puzzle was missing: the residents. The new capital is home to less than 1 million people, and this includes a lot of people who were already living in the area before the city was even there. But why on earth does nobody want to live here? This is because of poor health facilities, lack of education, and lack of economic opportunities, and nobody wants to make the capital city their home. It is often referred to as the ghost town. Just look at this 20-lane highway, it's basically empty. You usually only see a single vehicle driving on the gigantic road. The capital has an airport that could handle 3.5 million travelers every year, but on a good day, maybe 10 people will actually use it. Besides the airport being empty, the hotels are empty, the malls are empty. Basically, everything you can imagine is peaceful and quiet. However, there is still a small chance the city will succeed. Myanmar's population is still growing, and it's growing pretty fast. Maybe in the future the city will be seen as a home to many people, but for now it remains completely useless.
In September 2021, American billionaire Mark Lohr announced plans for Tolosa, a futuristic megacity located in the middle of the desert that resembles Saudi Arabia's The Line. While the billionaire's plans could become reality in the future, the city's long list of problems tells a different story. Will this mega project turn into America's first futuristic city? Or will it become an abandoned metropolis with no residents? Today, we will explore the problems that Tolosa is facing and whether or not they'll ever be resolved. Whether you live in a city or not, you most likely travel by car or public transportation. Every day, the average American spends 55 minutes commuting to and from work. Now imagine you live in Tolosa, where your fossil fuel-powered car isn't even allowed to enter the city because all of your everyday needs are located within a 5-minute commute from your home. This is just one of the goals that former Walmart CEO Mark Lohr has in mind for his futuristic metropolis, which is supposed to change how Americans live on a day-to-day basis. Tolosa is a response to all of the issues we have in today's world, such as climate change, pollution, and housing shortages. It seeks to reimagine how we can create a thriving city that is sustainable, inclusive, and equal for all residents. The wealth gap has grown to its widest point in history over the last century, and Lohr hopes to close it with his project. He envisions a city in which everyone, regardless of background, has equal economic opportunities. To achieve this result, Tolosa will operate on a system called equitism. The concept is that anyone would be able to build homes and sell them, while the city retains ownership of the underlying land. If the city were to thrive, the value of that land would increase, thus generating revenue. According to Mark Lohr, this could generate $50 billion in earnings each year, and he plans to invest a large portion of that revenue into high-quality services such as healthcare, schools, and public transport. Tolosa's future location will be somewhere in the United States' southwest desert, most likely in Nevada, Arizona, or Texas. The city is envisioned there because of the low-cost land, and it will be spread out over 150,000 acres, roughly the same size as Chicago. A skyscraper called Equitism Tower will be built in the city center to house aeroponic farms. Every building will be covered in solar panels and nature, ensuring that residents always have access to an abundance of open space. The construction of the city is divided into two phases. The first phase of construction would cover only 1,500 acres and would house 50,000 people by 2030. For the second phase, the city's backers hope it will span 150,000 acres, housing 5 million citizens by 2070. Although there is no doubt that Mark Lohr is serious about this project, having hired 50 experts to work on the city, we can't ignore the massive problems Tolosa must solve before it can become a reality. One of the most obvious problems is its location. In terms of pricing, America's Southwest Desert is an ideal place for a large metropolis, but not in terms of efficiency. As an example of similar projects, let's look at the construction developments of Saudi Arabia's The Line and Neom City. These mega projects were initially planned to be partially completed by 2020, but they're already behind schedule. They are currently dealing with high temperatures, a lack of water, and the energy impact of starting from scratch in a harsh environment. Not to mention that transporting the necessary resources to its location is a lengthy process that dramatically slows down construction. Tolosa is aiming for a location similar to The Line, which is out of reach and difficult to work with, making it almost certain that this mega project will face similar delays. So far, no land rights have been secured, leaving the question of where Tolosa will be located unanswered. But that's not the only problem with the Southwest Desert being its location. A study published in the Nature Climate Change Journal in 2022 confirmed that the southwest of the United States is at its driest in at least 1,200 years, while demand for water continues to rise. Water rights and availability are difficult to obtain when building a city in the desert, and many cities are already suffering as a result. Many residents in Arizona, for example, rely on groundwater or other techniques which are all expensive and unsustainable. So, how will Tolosa manage its water resources? The city claims it will capture and recycle water, which will then be stored in reservoirs throughout their parks. But this method does not guarantee a long-term water supply. Mark Lohr acknowledges that a viable water supply would require innovation, money, and political resolve, but he does not provide a strategy for dealing with this situation. One possible solution would be to relocate to a different location where water supplies are more widely accessible and cost-effective techniques are realistic. The Appalachian region would be a great alternative in terms of water supplies. However, you could argue that connectivity is even worse in that area. The third problem is something we also discussed in our Untold Secrets of the Line video. Tolosa's mission is to create a new model for society, mainly by making sure their entire metropolis is sustainable in every aspect possible. That's why each roof will have solar panels and why all fossil fuel vehicles are banned. However, because there are no sustainable ways to build Tolosa, the carbon footprint it will leave behind should be considered. What's the point of building a zero-carbon city if it produces 1 to 2 billion tons of CO2 in the first place? That defeats the project's primary goal, and a better alternative would be to invest in existing cities to make those more sustainable. Constructing Tolosa would cost $400 billion in total. Imagine how much could be done to make existing cities more environmentally friendly with that same budget. Aside from all of this, one of the most severe problems must be our society's current perspective towards this mega project. 83% of American citizens currently live in cities, and the majority of these people would not consider relocating to Tolosa at all. Tolosa is very likely to face many expansion issues down the road, as the transition from 50,000 to 5 million citizens is quite challenging, especially since the vast majority of people criticize the plan, describing it as a greenwashed Las Vegas or a Silicon Valley fantasy. Unless all of these sustainable megacities that are being constructed around the world really become our new way of living, it's very possible that these projects will never thrive as much as they are promoted to do. Then there's a problem that no one's talking about. Imagine one of your relatives has decided to relocate to Tolosa, and you intend to visit the city. Because it's only a few hours away, you decide to drive there by car. But wait, you can't enter the city because your car isn't actually allowed there. This begs the intriguing question of whether Tolosa would even be connected to the American interstate network in the first place. There's also no mention of a nearby airport because it's obviously not carbon neutral, leaving Tolosa's connectivity to other cities a mystery. One possible scenario is that the only way to get into Tolosa is to use the high-speed public transportation network that connects to nearby cities. However, this would be very inconvenient for long-haul travelers because you would always have to fly to a nearby city and take a train from there instead. Tolosa's connectivity will most likely be a problem until environmentally friendly airplanes are invented someday in the future.
Every year, countries around the world are constructing higher and higher skyscrapers. And with technology rapidly advancing, future skyscrapers will now be far taller than ever before. There are currently multiple towers under construction that, when completed, will be over 5,000 feet tall. In today's video, we'll explore the 5 tallest skyscrapers of the future that are all competing to construct the highest building ever. We begin in Zanzibar, Tanzania, which is famous for its turquoise blue waters and nearly deserted islands. The town currently has no skyscrapers, but in the near future, it will be home to this massive domino tower, which will be built on a man-made island. This newly invented design was brought to life in 2009, and it is estimated to be completed in 2027. Because of the $1.3 billion cost, it's still up in the air whether or not the tower can be fully realized, with this project taking up 60% of the town's annual budget. However, they're aiming to construct it nonetheless, since Domino Tower is part of Zanzibar's Blue Economy strategy, which attempts to attract international investors to their region. The man-made island will be constructed in the Indian Ocean, and with such a heavy tower on top of it, it is unknown if the project can withstand flooding as sea levels continue to rise due to climate change. Domino Tower has yet to break ground, but it is expected to begin construction in the upcoming year. Staying in Africa, it's time to pay a visit to Egypt. They intend to build the Obelisko Capital, which will attempt to dethrone Dubai's Burj Khalifa as the world's tallest structure. The tower is part of Egypt Vision 2030, the country's ambitious master plan aimed at improving quality of life as well as sustainability and innovation. It will be located right outside of Egypt's capital, Cairo, in the planned to be constructed new administrative capital. This city is a government-led project aimed at creating a new and smart metropolis that will do wonders for the country's economic development. With 170 floors, the building will include every amenity imaginable, from shopping malls to endless hotel suites. When completed, it will stand 3,280 feet or 1,000 meters tall, surpassing Dubai's Burj Khalifa by 560 feet. To make it look even more majestic, a water canal will be built around the Obelisko Capital as a reference to their iconic Nile River. The project's construction work has not yet begun, but it is anticipated to get underway in 2024 and to be completed by 2030. However, Egypt is not the only country striving to exceed the Burj Khalifa's height. For the next skyscraper, we travel to Saudi Arabia, which is well known for its ambitious mega projects such as Neon City and The Line. Another insane project they're working on is Jeddah Tower, which has been under construction ever since April 2013. Despite the fact that construction began around 10 years ago, the skyscraper currently looks like this, not even close to completion. The construction process was well underway in 2018 when a large number of prominent Saudi Arabian princes and ministers were arrested. They were accused of corruption and money laundering, which caused several contractors to stop working on the Jeddah Tower altogether. Ever since these events, construction on the project has been halted, and as of right now, experts believe the tower won't be finished any earlier than 2026. But when the tower is constructed, it will have a peak height of 3,307 feet, only 27 feet taller than Egypt's Obelisko project. It will feature a total of 165 floors, with an observation deck on the 157th floor, making it the highest one in the world. But now, it's time to take a journey to Tokyo, Japan, where perhaps the most impressive skyscraper on this list will be located. The Sky Mile Tower is yet another project that is looking to dethrone the Burj Khalifa, but not just by making it slightly taller, but by doubling the height of Dubai's centerpiece. Over the past few decades, Japan's vulnerability to seismic activity and natural calamities has increased, which is why the Sky Mile Tower was conceived. Its future location will be on an artificial island made of reclaimed land in Tokyo Bay. And in addition to the tower, there are also plans to build a mini-city at the structure's base. The Sky Mile Tower will have a hexagonal shape consisting of multiple sets of 3 interlinked building legs, creating multiple sky lobbies alongside the tower. It would reach a height of 5,577 feet, housing 4.5 million square feet of floor area, doubling both the height and interior space of the Burj Khalifa. Because pumping water from the ground would be difficult, the tower's legs will be designed to harvest clouds for water, which will then be collected centrally inside the skyscraper. No construction progress has been announced as of right now, but if completed, it will cost their government an estimated $7 to $9 billion. The Sky Mile Tower would be an incredible achievement if it were to be built, but there is a much more ambitious skyscraper Tokyo is planning to construct. In 1992, the concept for the Tokyo Tower of Babel was brought to life, envisioning a city inside of a skyscraper. Once finished, the building would be gigantic enough to accommodate 30 million residents, which is more people than the entire population of Texas. Coming in at a height of 10 kilometers or 33,000 feet, it would be even higher than the altitude the average airplane flies at. To build such an insane tower in the future, architects would need a base of around 2,500 square miles, which is 5 times the size of New York City. However, it may never see the light of day because the price tag may be too high for them to ever afford. It would cost an estimated $22 trillion to build, which is more than 4 times Japan's GDP, making it an unfeasible investment at this time. However, new skyscraper concepts are constantly being developed, so perhaps someone will find a way to reduce the price tag someday.
Berlin-Brandenburg Airport is an international airport project in Germany. When construction started in 2006, the project was planned to cost around $2.4 billion, and it was planned to open in 2011. However, what followed next were a bunch of delays caused by construction mistakes. The first delay happened in 2010, around 1 year before the scheduled opening, when the bankruptcy of an involved planning company was announced. Other delays were caused by fire protection requirements that could not be met. The airport also failed the acceptance test required to function as an airport. Because of this, a total of 37 miles of cooling pipes were installed to solve this mistake. To date, the costs have more than tripled because of all these construction mistakes to a total of $8.3 billion. 14 years after the start of construction and 9 years after the original opening date, Berlin-Brandenburg Airport went into operation in 2020. However, this is not where the expensive mistakes end for this airport. Despite its opening, the airport is unlikely to be able to finance itself both during and after the pandemic. More funds will be needed to prevent bankruptcy, which could cost an additional $2 billion. At least the Berlin-Brandenburg Airport didn't get destroyed entirely, unlike this skyscraper. But before we go there, let's talk about number 4, Tacoma Narrows Bridge. For this mistake, we're going back in time to the 1940s. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge just opened up to the public on the 1st of July. The bridge connected Tacoma to Gig Harbor. It was the third longest suspension bridge in the world at that time, following right behind the George Washington Bridge and the famous Golden Gate Bridge. The bridge was constructed to be the most flexible ever seen. Everyone was convinced that the bridge was completely safe, but they all turned out to be horribly wrong. It turned out that the engineers had not properly considered the aerodynamic forces that were in play at the location of the bridge. There were periods with very strong winds which made the bridge sway like this. On November 7th, the bridge completely collapsed into the water below. Luckily, nobody got injured during the collapse because the problem was already known for a longer period of time. The bridge quickly became famous as the most dramatic bridge construction failure in history. The bridge had to be upgraded. 10 years after the collapse, a new and improved bridge opened. Fast forward 70 years, and that bridge is still standing till this day. With all of its costs combined, the bridge costs a total of $786 million to complete. This might have been an expensive construction mistake, but the mistake made during the construction of this tower was much more expensive. But before we talk about that, let's check out number 3, California High-Speed Rail. In 2008, plans got approved to build the California High-Speed Rail after 12 years of planning. The hope was that the train would run from the Bay Area to Southern California to shorten the travel time between major cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles. The project cost was estimated at $68 billion. Construction finally started in 2015 but was soon halted 3 years later under former President Donald Trump. Trump asked California to return the funding they had received for the project back to the White House. California refused to do so. The plan was for the rail to be finished in 2020, but the project suffered from various delays because of mismanagement. Although this was one of the largest construction projects in California's history, only 10 people were brought on to manage the project. The consultants working on this project thought they could save a lot of money by not hiring a large crew of engineers and experts. The state trusted them for years, and the work they were doing was only overseen by a small group of people. The project is now more than a decade behind schedule. Plus, due to bad advice from the same consultants, the California High-Speed Rail project is now $44 billion over budget. This construction mistake could go down in history as one of the most expensive ones ever made. Luckily, the high-speed rail project is still being used, unlike this skyscraper, which was completely imploded. But first, let's cover number 2, Jeddah Tower. Jeddah Tower, previously known as Kingdom Tower, is located in Saudi Arabia. At a height of 1,000 meters, Jeddah Tower was going to be the first 1-kilometer high building worldwide. The skyscraper is part of Saudi Arabia's push to diversify the country's economy towards tourism, similar to what Dubai has with the famous Burj Khalifa. Jeddah Tower is designed by Adrian Smith, who also designed Dubai's tourist attraction. Construction of the Jeddah Tower began in 2013 and was scheduled to be completed by 2018. However, the 2017 Saudi Arabian purge caused major construction problems, and work on the building stopped with only a third of the tower done. Major investors of the project were imprisoned by the government. After the investors were free again a few months later, construction of the Jeddah Tower was still on hold and there was no official date for its completion. Currently, the tower has reached a height of 252 meters, only a quarter of the scheduled height. The pandemic has further delayed plans for the construction to continue in 2020 as it would not be safe for workers. If the project gets abandoned midway through its construction, there would be a loss of at least $1 billion. Nobody really knows what's going to happen next as the project currently sits on hold. Jeddah Tower might sound like a disaster, but there is something much worse coming up. I'm talking about number 1, the Harmon Hotel. The Harmon Hotel was a high-rise building located in Las Vegas, Nevada. At the start of the project, its name was Lifestyle Hotel. It was supposed to become a boutique hotel with a very central location in the city. It was planned to have 400 hotel rooms and 207 apartments. There was also supposed to be a pool deck on the roof of the building looking out over the Las Vegas Strip. But this is obviously never what it became. On July 11, 2011, a report was released indicating that the entire building could possibly collapse in the event of a major earthquake. This was caused by improper installation of critical steel reinforcements. The construction mistake was discovered when 15 stories of the building were already in place. The error caused a major change in the building's design. Instead of the Harmon Hotel being 49 stories, they decided to reduce it to 28 stories. But on August 15, 2011, plans were announced to implode the entire building. The hotel's demolition got approved as it presented a threat to public safety because of the risk of the entire building collapsing. Unlike many other Las Vegas properties that usually get imploded using explosives, the Harmon Hotel got a different treatment. The hotel was taken down floor by floor due to its location being very close to other buildings. The costs for using this method came down to a whopping $173 million. That's one very expensive construction mistake right there.
Over the last 70 years, Dubai has had the transformation of the century. But how did they go from a completely empty desert to the mega city we know today? And what does the future of Dubai hold? This is the evolution of Dubai. First, we have to go all the way back to the year 1822. Back then, Dubai was just a simple fishing village formed by the Bani Yas tribe. Over the following decades, the village started looking more and more like a small town. In 1902, it was mainly being used as a port for international trading of cargo. By the beginning of the 20th century, Dubai was a very important trading location, because of its location being very close to Iran. By 1920, many Iranians started living in Dubai permanently, but Dubai's future took a crazy turn when this happened. The government of Dubai discovered all the oil that was right below their feet. So in 1937, an oil exploration contract was signed, which made sure that Dubai owned all the royalty rights to the oil. Dubai's ruler at the time, Sheikh Rasbid, started using the revenue from trading oil to build infrastructure for the small town. More and more private companies started popping up to build and operate the infrastructure, such as electricity and the newly constructed airport. In 1959, Dubai's first ever hotel was built, the Airlines Hotel. After constructing a few buildings, Sheikh Rasbid hired a British architecture firm to create the first master plan Dubai ever had. The British firm was planning to construct an extensive road network alongside organized zones and a town center. During this time, Dubai continued to grow from the revenue generated from oil and trading. In the 1990s, many businesses from other cities such as Kuwait and Bahrain decided to move to Dubai. Their economy kept on growing and so did the city itself. But this is just the beginning of Dubai's insane transformation. Because Dubai was about to start construction on some of their famous projects that are globally recognized today. In 1999, construction on the Burj Al Arab began, which is one of the most luxurious hotels in the world. It's constructed on an artificial island that is connected to Jumeirah Beach by a private curving bridge. It's a 7-star hotel, and it costs around $24,000 to stay at for a single night. Besides that, construction on the Palm Jumeirah started in 2001. This project is part of a larger development called the Palm Islands, which are a large group of artificially made islands. The project increases Dubai's shoreline by a total of 320 miles, and it has an estimated population of 10,000 residents. But these mega projects are nothing compared to the world-famous Burj Khalifa that began construction in 2004. The massive tower holds the title of the tallest structure and building at the time of making this video. With a height of 2,722 feet, or just over half a mile, nobody has been able to compete with Dubai's impressive construction project. Because Dubai constructed so many world-famous projects, they got a lot of international attention, making them a popular location to move to. Between 1960 and 2021, the population in Dubai has multiplied 80 times, going all the way from 40,000 residents to 3.5 million residents. Dubai has a lot of trending locations that are globally well known, but how much have these popular locations changed over the last 50 years? Back in 1954, this is what Dubai's waterfront looked like. There were only a few boats laying around, and there was not a single skyscraper to be seen. In 2007, construction started to transform this waterfront forever. Nowadays, it's a 5-mile-long waterfront that runs parallel to the Persian coastline, with a ton of insanely tall skyscrapers surrounding it. The transformation of the airport is also quite insane. It was built in 1959, and back then it only had a runway built out of compacted sand. Only years later, an asphalt runway and a fire station were added to the airport premises. But nowadays, it's one of the biggest and busiest airports around the globe. In 2017, the airport welcomed a total of 88 million passengers and handled 2.65 million tons of cargo. But the transformation of the main highway running through Dubai is even more stunning. The Sheikh Zayed Road was constructed in the 1970s as a tiny one-lane road handling the same amount of traffic at that time. As Dubai grew more and more into a massive city, so did this road. It grew from a simple road to a massive primary highway linking Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as well as contributing to Dubai's massive road network. It is the longest road in the Emirates, and it takes you on a crazy trip alongside the skyline of downtown Dubai. You can see the Emirates Towers, Palm Jumeirah, and the Dubai Marina. Speaking of downtown Dubai, this might be the most insane transformation of them all. Downtown Dubai only had a few tall buildings in the year 2000. But I wouldn't call them skyscrapers just yet. Most of the area was filled up with some tiny buildings and empty desert landscape. In the year 2006, about a quarter of the cranes worldwide were occupied in building the massive structures we see in Dubai today. Nowadays, downtown Dubai is absolutely filled up with some of the biggest skyscrapers in the world, promising an astonishing view. The growth of this metropolis is absolutely crazy, but what does the future of Dubai hold? The government of Dubai has a master plan for the city that is supposed to be a reality by 2040. The main goal with this plan is to stimulate sustainable urban development. It focuses on enhancing people's happiness, quality of life, and it makes sure that Dubai is a great global destination for travelers. The master plan states that the government wants to upgrade Dubai's urban areas such as downtown, Dubai Marina, and the Business Bay. They also want to build 2 new centers, the Expo 2020 Center and Dubai Silicon Oasis Center. By 2040, Dubai wants to double all green and recreational spaces within the city, as well as increasing land area for hotels and tourist activities. They're also looking to encourage mass transit use, such as walking, cycling, or any other means of flexible transportation. To summarize, Dubai wants to be a lot more sustainable by 2040. But besides these plans, they are also working on massive mega projects that are going to shock everyone, such as a huge skyscraper called the One Zabil. This twin tower project is currently under construction and is expected to be completed before the end of 2022. The first tower will be more than 980 feet tall. Both towers will be connected with an impressive panoramic sky cantilever suspended 330 feet above the ground. It will be the world's longest cantilever and will feature a number of facilities inside, such as restaurants and entertainment. But the mega project that is much taller, the Dubai Creek Tower. This huge tower would surpass the height of the Burj Khalifa if it actually gets constructed. The total cost of the tower will come down to around $1 billion. It was expected to already be finished in 2022, but the completion date is currently unknown. Since the tower is currently on hold, while the actual height of the project was never truly disclosed, the developer talks about a minimum height of 4,300 feet. This is about 3.5 times higher than the Empire State Building in New York.
The architects of the project are keeping the actual height a secret, so not a single competitor, such as the Jeddah Tower, can plan ahead and build a higher tower. The Dubai Creek Tower will have 10 of the world's highest observation decks that will give panoramic views of Dubai. It will also have balconies that rotate, peeking on the outside of the tower. There will be 2 garden decks on the inside of the tower, since this stimulates their further plans towards sustainability and adding more green to the city. Construction on the tower started back in 2016, but at this moment, no work is being done to continue working on the tower. The completion date is likely to be pushed back by a few years, possibly finishing between 2024 to 2030. Dubai is already known for having the most insane construction projects around the globe, but they are always trying to stay ahead of the competition, and they are always trying to innovate. Dubai will be around for many more decades, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for all of us.
Imagine constructing 20 Empire State Buildings next to each other at the same time. It might sound impossible, but that's what Saudi Arabia is building with the Mukaab. That's actually being funded as we speak. So, what is the Mukaab? They're stating it will become the world's first immersive and experiential destination, using virtual reality technology to change the world around you. Not only will this building be 400 meters tall, it will also be 400 meters wide and 400 meters long, making it truly gigantic. Coming in at this height, it would rank on number 41 in the world's tallest buildings list. And to really put its size into perspective, the Mukaab could theoretically fit over 24 football fields inside of its walls. The outside of their walls are covered in gold with eccentric patterns inspired by the modern Naji architectural style, featuring a rooftop garden on top of it. It's planned to be situated in the northwest region of Riyadh as part of a larger development called the New Murabba District, which is scheduled to become the world's largest downtown area. When you enter the Mukaab Cube, you'll be surrounded by a 360-degree holographic display, making it seem like you're in another world. Besides this newly invented technology, the trailer also shows many holograms around the precinct, as well as floating cars and hovering islands. Mukaab's main feature will be a massive spiraling tower, encased in a technological structure to create an immersive experience for all residents. The cube's roads will also feature its own internal transportation system, and just like the Line Mega project, it will be designed to offer living, working, and entertainment facilities within a 15-minute walking radius. A total of 104,000 residential units will be available, alongside many amenities such as a university, a multifunctional theater, and an iconic museum. With all this available space, Saudi Arabia claims it will be able to accommodate hundreds of thousands of citizens inside of their Cube project, while also creating 300,000 jobs along the way. However, it's no surprise that the Cube will come with an astounding price tag. According to Saudi's public investment fund, the Mukaab will cost an estimated $48 billion, which is 5.7% of the country's GDP. Following the official statement issued by the Saudi Arabian government, the Cube mega project is set to be completed by 2030. While the renders provided in the Mega Project's trailer might look promising, the Mukaab has many problems that need to be resolved before it can ever become a reality. The first problem is the project's impossible time frame. As mentioned in their trailer, you could essentially fit 20 skyscrapers within the 400-meter-tall cube. Usually, constructing just one skyscraper can take several years, let alone building a cube of that insane size. For comparison, let's select a 400-meter-tall skyscraper that was recently completed, the Guiyang International Center in China. The structure began construction in 2016 and was completed in 2020. If we do the math, it would mean that the Mukaab would take a total of 80 years to be finished, which is obviously a much longer time frame than the projected 7 years Saudi Arabia is aiming for. Not to mention that they're dealing with newly invented technology that is extremely complicated to construct, meaning it's simply unrealistic for the cube to be completed by 2030. The second problem is the project's funding. Saudi Arabia is currently constructing many other ambitious mega projects besides the Mukaab, such as the Line, Oxagon, and Trojena, which all contribute to the same goal of making Saudi Arabia less oil dependent. While all of these mega projects seem like great plans, the math doesn't really add up compared to the country's budget. All of these mega projects are funded by Saudi's Public Investment Fund, which is the 5th richest sovereign fund worldwide, having a total of $620 billion to their name. If we subtract this budget by how expensive all of these mega projects will be, we end up on a debt of $428 billion. Where is Saudi Arabia supposed to get this insane amount of funding from? If the country really wants to make all of these mega projects work, they have to be spread out over much longer time frames. But even then, the combination of all these mega projects happening at the same time seems far too ambitious. The third problem is the project's demand. Much like their linear city plan, the Mukaab is centered around the concept of sustainability, offering a lifestyle with everything we need located within a 15-minute walking radius. And while Saudi Arabia is spending an insane amount of capital on both of these projects, their concepts are completely unproven, and the majority of our society seems to be uninterested in this type of lifestyle. While the Line and the Mukaab will offer a high amount of supply for this idea of living, when these projects are finished, demand for them will likely be far too low. Not to mention that both these projects essentially have the exact same concept, meaning their country is really doubling down on something that's uncertain to work. But another big problem is shown in the trailer. As mentioned earlier, there is an abundance of new technology to be seen within the 3D renders of the project, and some of it is simply unexplainable. For starters, a flying dragon can be seen, which to our knowledge doesn't exist yet. Or these rocks that are just floating around without any form of purpose. What possible use could these have? And then there's the floating island, which seems to have no way to get off of it. Are those people just stuck there? Plus, in the same shot, a forest of gigantic mushrooms can be seen in the background, which would be ridiculous to spend their budget on. Why is Saudi spending so much time on inventing pointless technology for this project? Instead of doing that, why not spend that same budget on their other ambitious mega projects? Like we proved earlier, they really need to start saving capital in some areas of these developments before the entire nation is headed towards bankruptcy. While the linear city is slowly breaking ground, it's currently unknown when the Mukaab will begin construction, so only time will tell how Saudi Arabia will tackle these problems and whether or not the cube will ever become reality.
The MSG sphere is encountering a long list of problems. While the $2.3 billion sphere in Las Vegas recently opened, the project has gained controversy over the issues that it may have in the near future. In this video, we will take a deep dive into these issues and whether or not the sphere will even survive. First on the list is the budget. The sphere's construction cost hit a staggering amount, going over budget multiple times. In a project of this magnitude, unforeseen construction challenges are somewhat expected. However, the MSG sphere's uniquely futuristic design presented more than a few bumps along the road. From the mammoth task of constructing a perfect sphere to the intricate work of installing thousands of LED panels, the construction process was anything but straightforward. The design changes were another significant contributor to the budget overrun. As the sphere started to take shape, the vision for what it could be also evolved. New ideas and changes to the original plan were inevitable, but each modification came with a hefty price tag. Inflation too played its role in this budget saga. With the project spanning over several years, the cost of materials and labor steadily rose. This inflationary pressure added an unexpected burden on the budget, pushing it even further beyond its original estimate. With every dollar over budget, the pressure to generate revenue increases. It's a vicious cycle. The more it costs to build, the more it needs to earn to break even. The sphere's initial revenue projections were ambitious, but with the budget skyrocketing, those projections now seem almost out of reach. This financial pressure also puts a strain on the relationships with investors. Each budget increase means asking for more money, which can cause tension and potential loss of faith in the project's viability. Next on our agenda, we dive into the tumultuous wave of traffic issues triggered by the sphere's arrival in an area already teeming with life. We found that the strategists grossly miscalculated the sphere's allure and its consequent magnetism. They conspicuously failed to predict the influx of visitors that would be irresistibly drawn towards the sphere, amplifying the existing city traffic. Local businesses, too, have been negatively impacted as the constant traffic jams have deterred potential customers from venturing into the city's core. The city authorities, in response, have been scrambling to implement traffic management strategies. Yet, despite their best efforts, situation remains largely unresolved, and the traffic gridlock persists. The long-term impact on the city's infrastructure is worrisome. This miscalculated oversight might not just have repercussions in terms of traffic management, but it could also threaten the sphere's reputation and popularity. After all, who would willingly endure relentless traffic for hours just to participate in an event? This accessibility issue, if not rectified soon, could irreparably tarnish the sphere's image and its future. The third problem on our list is the sphere's sound pollution and its massive energy consumption. Imagine living next door to the loudest concert you have ever experienced. That's the reality for many residents and tourists staying near the MSG sphere. The technology inside is awe-inspiring, a marvel of modern engineering. But it comes with a cost. The sound system in the sphere is one of the most advanced in the world, designed to create an immersive experience for every audience member by adding a speaker in every single seat within the dome. But this sound doesn't just stay within the walls of the sphere. It leaks out, seeping into the surrounding area, creating a constant hum of noise pollution. A symphony for some inside, but a cacophony for those outside. Now, onto the second part of the equation, the sphere's colossal energy consumption. Hosting events in such a technologically advanced venue doesn't come cheap. The sphere's high-tech light and sound systems, not to mention its air conditioning and other utilities, require a significant amount of energy. This isn't just a drain on resources, it's a drain on the environment. The costs associated with this energy consumption are nothing to scoff at. It's a significant ongoing expense that further compounds the sphere's already massive construction costs. It's not just about paying the bills, either. The sphere, with its dazzling displays and booming sound system, is a beacon of modern entertainment. But is it also a beacon of environmental irresponsibility? The sphere's design is innovative, cutting edge, but it's also problematic. The sound pollution is a nuisance for local residents, and the energy consumption raises questions about sustainability and financial viability. The fourth problem on our list is the sphere's ability to generate enough revenue. Diving deeper into the financial enigma that is the sphere, it's important to consider its potential income streams such as ticket sales, advertising, partnerships, and the leasing of the space for private events. The route to profitability, however, is laden with significant challenges. The sphere is such a massive venue that needs an audience that can match the amount of seats it has to offer, and not all events can do this, given the over 17,000 seats that are available. The sphere also has to grapple with towering operating expenses when no event is being held. Moreover, the sphere is located in Las Vegas, a city already bustling with entertainment alternatives, which intensifies the competition it faces. It does house the most spectacular exterior the human eye has ever seen, but the events within the venue largely remain the same. In this highly competitive environment, the sphere must offer something unique and enticing to differentiate itself and draw in a consistent visitor base. The survival of the sphere relies heavily on its ability to transform this conundrum into a concrete reality. The question remains, can the sphere untangle this intricate financial riddle and emerge as a profitable venture? This mystery warrants further exploration. We've dwelled on the challenges the MSG sphere faces, but let's now turn our gaze towards the potential solutions. To offset the astronomical construction costs, the sphere could explore innovative revenue streams. Beyond just hosting concerts and events, the sphere could become a hub for immersive experiences, such as virtual reality gaming, interactive art installations, and even educational programs. This could not only generate substantial revenue but also position the sphere as a pioneer of experiential entertainment. As for the traffic turmoil, a comprehensive traffic management plan could be the key. This could involve collaborations with local transport services to streamline event logistics, or even incentives for carpooling and use of public transport. This approach would not only reduce the traffic load but also contribute to environmental sustainability. The massive energy consumption of the sphere is another issue that cannot be ignored. However, this could be mitigated through energy-saving measures like the use of energy-efficient lighting and HVAC systems, and perhaps even exploring renewable energy sources like solar or wind power. In the end, the sphere's success hinges on its ability to navigate these challenges and adapt to the evolving landscape. It's a tall order, but with the right strategies and determination, it might just be possible. Only time will tell if the MSG sphere will shine as the jewel of Las Vegas or fade into the annals of ambitious architectural ventures. If you enjoyed this video, please consider watching this video next, where we're diving deeper into a different mega project.